the ashes, the spirits light up the night.
Now, we're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with Monster Quest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Jeff. How are you? I haven't seen you for a whole year.
Yeah, not since last year. Happy New Year, everyone.
My grandson pulled that one on me, and he was saying goodbye the other night. He goes, I'll see you in a year.
I think every kid loves that joke.
I'm like, what? Sorry, Grandpa fell for it, though. Hello, everybody in chat. Oh, we got a new member, I see.
Hey, everybody.
B. Corbin, thank you. Glad to see you on board here.
Yeah.
I trust everybody gave lots of presents, a mere third of your income to all your loved ones. I did. It was bad. I cannot wait till I get my credit card bill. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, but yeah.
It's worth it though. Just to see everybody, see the kids and the grandkids all look happy. That's fun.
It is. So anyhow, Happy New Year, every single person listening, everybody in chat, everybody in the future. Happy New Year. What do we have tonight? We have two great guests. We have Marie Dumont and Mike. I don't quite know how to pronounce his last name. Aguilar.
You know, I should have asked him. I didn't. I should have asked him. I talked to him briefly.
Anyhow,
we'll find out shortly.
Both of them are serious researchers down in Florida. Tough place to do research, I might add. I've done it. It's dangerous. It's everything will try to get you, even the plants. Like they have thorns and vines on everything, and alligators and snakes and spiders that'll get you.
Man, there are alligators everywhere. If you're stay on the road, man. Stay on the road. You don't ever want to get off the road. Those things are crazy.
I have a pair of snake boots I'm going to give you, Jeff.
Oh, cool.
You ever wore snake boots?
I do have a pair. Yeah, I had a pair of snake boots way back when.
I got a whole bunch of extra pair.
Rattlesnake. Yeah, or not rattlesnake. They were pythons. Yeah, cool stuff.
Anyhow, what do we got? We can just go over a little bit. I'm curious what you did over Christmas because I didn't hear anything from you.
No, boy, it feels like we haven't done this in a month, isn't it? And I didn't do much. I had a nice quiet holiday up north. My family, kind of a small gathering, which was nice and quiet and peaceful, and it was really nice to have. I had 3 days in a row off, which doesn't happen to me very often. So.
Yeah,
that alone was nice.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's good. Yeah, it was good. Over here, we had 2 complete Christmas Eves. First, we had all my kids.
Yeah.
And grandkids, and then the second time we had all the extended family and nephews and cousins and all that kind of stuff. And then of course,
at your house. Y'all came to your house.
Yeah.
Nice, fun.
So it was just I'm pretty whooped. I'm whooped.
Yeah.
Still recovering from all the parties, if you know what I mean.
I do. I was up too late last night, in fact. Yeah.
Anyhow, we're gonna give away a few things tonight.
Yeah.
Be just fun. We're not a contest. I'm just gonna maybe say the 10th person down in chat, blah blah blah, and all whatever. We're just going to kind of randomize it. It is not a contest, but we do have some nice, cool things to give away tonight.
Yeah.
And we're going to have them guess some things about you, Jeff.
Cool.
We'll see how good they do. So stay tuned for that here. In fact, should we just do that now? Kind of get into
Sure.
that? Why not?
Absolutely. So
Start
we got
the year off right. All right.
Here's the first thing.
So we're going to give away a Untold Radio hat. And they are nice. I've only had one of these, and I still wear the damn thing. And I really need to hit Alex up for a new one because I wear it a lot. Anyhow, let's see here. Okay, so let's do this. So the first person in chat that can answer the following, and the first answer we get, so we're gonna have to watch the bottom. Well, let's do this. No, I'm gonna reverse this. The first person who showed up in chat, Jay did. So we're just gonna start right away. We're gonna give a hat to Jay.
Cool. Congrats, Jay.
So Jay gets a hat. All you got to do is just get a hold of Jeff. Is it Jeff?
Jeff P at untoldradioam.com. Email me. I'll get all your contact. I'll get your info.
Yeah, just give me your info. So you want a hat there, Jay? All right. So next, let's do first person who can name Jeff's favorite color. Now, I think I know this. I think Jeff's not going to say anything, but the first person who can, so start guessing colors, because the first person who guesses colors gets a new t-shirt called What's Your Story t-shirt. We've got Nixon black, Stone Picker green. Mary Jo is right. She was first. It's red. Is that right, Jeff?
Depends. My favorite color for most things is green. My favorite color for cars and motorcycles is red.
Well, now how in the hell are you going to pick one then?
I don't know.
I already said red.
Yeah. I love red. I'll paint everything red. Anything that can be painted, I'll paint red.
Everything we've done is red for you.
I like red. Yeah,
red,
I like red.
red.
I got my red water bottle here, and yeah, we'll go with red. I wear green all the time, but my favorite color is definitely red.
All right. Well, I think we're going to have to do is Kim and who got the red again? Mary Jo.
Mary Jo. So yep.
Both of you will get a t-shirt because
Cool.
it's
Yep,
red and green.
Just email me. Yep.
So you both get an article of clothing there, a t-shirt. Need your size. Did you see that? Do you like that t-shirt?
Yeah, it's cool. I love it. Is that brand new? I don't think I've seen them before.
New design. Yep.
I love it.
They're not even in stock yet, so you're gonna have to probably wait an extra, maybe a week to get it until we get them.
It'll be worth the wait. It's a cool shirt.
Yeah. And we will also sign those. Anybody got a hat? If you want a t-shirt signed, let us know. I'm sure Jeff will.
Sure.
Can take a, what do you call it, Sharpie?
Yeah.
Autograph it. All right. And I think the other thing here, the next, I would like someone to name my favorite saying, and they're going to get a hat, bumper sticker, and they get to pick out a free book at Hanger One Publishing, any book they want.
There's some good ones there. I know that for a fact.
So what's my favorite saying? Someone's going to get it. I'm reading the chat. See who got that. Somebody, I just saw it. I think it was Loretta. Oh, no, Sly Fox Peter. Sly Fox and Loretta. Both. I think we're gonna let them both. They just like came in and just tink. So Sly Fox, you guys both won a autographed hat. Not that you want it autographed. A bumper sticker and a free book from Hanger One. Just go and pick it out.
Yeah. Boy, there's so many good books at Hanger One.
Yeah.
I got a stack to read still.
Well, then, the other thing is too, I want to give away a director's cut. I only have a few left, but these were DVDs that I got to watch Monster Quest, to basically approve, all of the final whatever before it aired. And I've got a few copies. And let's think, what can we bet people to do here, or ask them to win a Monster Quest signed DVD director's cut that will be worth great amounts of money in the year 2025. 25. Another 100 years from now will be worth a ton. I'm joking.
Tons of money.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm just trying to think what would be a cool question. How about you?
Me?
I know. Hold on. What is, and I don't know the answer to this. What is Jeff's favorite pizza? What type of meat goes on Jeff's favorite pizza? How's that? Is that something that is doable, Jeff?
Sure.
Okay, so you got to pick it out then. Go.
I definitely have a favorite pizza.
This is for a signed DVD of Monster Quest. That will at some point be a collector's item.
It is not Hawaiian. Sorry.
We got Supreme Pepperoni from Loretta. Another
Nope. Keep
Hawaiian
going.
from Stone Picker.
Oh, there we go. Someone got it. Brendan. My favorite combo. Brendan guessed it here. My favorite combo we call the Sammy Special. It's my grandpa's favorite.
Yeah.
Sausage, onion, and green pepper. And Brendan was the first person to say sausage.
All righty. Okay, Brendan, you know what you get. You get a DVD signed.
Yeah, cool.
And I think I only have like 3 left. I just
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing to have. It's kind of
I'm going to keep one. I'll probably keep one eventually. I'm down to one Monster Quest hat, and I'm down to like 3 of the DVDs, and I'm gone. They're gone. Anyhow, well, that was kind of fun. Should we give away one more book? What the hell?
Sure.
Let's do that. All right. Let me think here. What in the hell? Why am I so out? Oh, how about what is my drink that I have sitting right in front of me?
Oh, I know, but I'm not going to say.
You know, don't say anything. What is, and I'll give away another. You can go to Hanger One and shop for any book you want, and we'll send it out to you. What drink? Flat Rockland's purple drink. That used to be. You were right. That used to be coffee. I'm not seeing it yet.
Come on.
Eggnog, lemonade.
I just had my annual quart of eggnog. I buy 1 quart every year. It's so good.
Not seen it yet. Diet Coke, whiskey, Gatorade.
Whiskey. I wish I had some whiskey.
Kim says whiskey, yeah. Neil says lemonade. Flat Rockland says scotch. Loretta says soda. You got to tell us what kind of soda, Loretta. Can't just be soda. Oh my God!
So there's your hint.
Last week, I always drink it.
You drink it every week.
I damn near.
And in between.
Well, it's been my kind of go-to lately.
Yeah.
Lately, water. Yeah, I do that, but it is a type of soda. Okay, I want to give you guys.
Flat Rock. We got it there. Flat Rock got it.
He did. Where?
Root beer.
Yes, that is right. Oh my God, there it is. A&W root beer.
A&W Diet, I believe, right? Is that your favorite right now?
Yes, the Diet, sugar-free.
Diet A&W, sugar-free A&W. Yep. So Flat Rock. Please email me, and I'll.
Yep.
And we'll hook you up pick out a book.
Yeah, just go to Hanger One, pick out a book title, and Jeff will make sure you get it.
Yep, for sure.
All right, what do we got here? Let's stay in the fun zone, and let's do marketplace picks. That's always kind of fun. I've picked out some zany, weird, crazy, I'm sure they're all very desirable things that you could buy on marketplace right now, unless they're sold.
You want to run your other video first? A little.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
We made a nice video here.
We have a Happy New Year spot, little thing, and then we have a little book promo that we're going to run.
Yep.
All
Let's do it.
Yep.
Science writer and cryptozoology researcher Matt Billy offers 400 reviews of the significant books in cryptozoology. Get your copy of Books and Beasts today from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Kindle. Books and Beasts is also available directly from Hangar One Publishing.
I don't have that one. I need to get a copy of that. It looks like an interesting book.
Super interesting. And it has over 400 reviews of cryptozoology books.
Cool.
And,
yeah, I put that one on my list. I need to get that one.
Yeah, and Matt Belay, he was an author I would read, 30 years ago I was reading his stuff. He used to write stuff with, I think, Lauren Coleman and him used to partner up.
Cool.
So he's been around a while. Anyhow, it's a cool book. Get it?
Yeah.
Get it? It could be one of your books you picked.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's definitely, like if you're into books, you need to own that book because it's kind of the book Bible.
Yeah.
So you don't waste your money.
It looks like a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There are so many good books in Hangar One. If whoever the winners, when you email me, if you need recommendations, I'm happy to recommend some. But just look at the website. There's so many good books.
Can you go ahead and throw your address in chat again? But go ahead and tell it, Jeff. Somebody had asked again.
For my email?
Yes.
Sure. Give me 1 second here.
Jeff P.
Can I
at Untold Radio.
UntouldRadioAM.com.
There you go. He's going to put it up here.
There we go. It's right in chat there.
Yep.
Did I type it right?
Pretty simple. And if you need my email, it's Doug, just Doug at UntouldRadioAM.com.
Yep.
If you need Alex's for any reason, it's just Alex at UntouldRadioAM.com.
AM. Yep.
All right, let's get into our little fun marketplace picks.
It's now time for Untold Radio's odd, strange, weird, and zany marketplace deals. Please don't let these gems slip away.
All right, this was fun last time. You found some good stuff.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah. Oh, there's endless things for sale, that's for sure.
You know, the funniest thing, there was one I was ready to almost make fun of. Excuse me. And it sold. Like right in front of me. It just sold. I thought, well, okay. And it's been sold. So you guys can guess what these things cost. But let's go up and throw up. Pick one. You remember Zoltar?
Yeah. Does anybody under the age of 50 remember that?
Yeah. Well, here you can get your own.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, as you could probably guess. But I want people to try to guess in chat, and I'll post some of your guesses. But this is the famous Zoltar fortune-telling arcade machine. Apparently it works. It's ready to go. Looks pretty dang new. It's got a dollar bill acceptor. So you can maybe make a few bucks, right? Put it in your garage. Yeah. And maybe in about 5,000 years, you'll have your money back.
Yeah, it takes a while, but bucket of, dollar, nothing's a quarter anymore. I actually played a lot of pinball, and nothing's a quarter anymore. Pinball, a game of pinball's $1 now.
It's $1. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So what do we got for guesses? Kim says 1,200. Loretta says 56,800.
That's a little high.
Yeah. So the guy paid. I'm going to give you a hint. The guy paid $9,500 for it. That's what he paid.
Wow.
Now, my problem is if I bought this, I know old Zoltar would be going off in the middle of the night. He would be unplugged and he still would be telling fortunes. That would be really creepy. I just know that would happen. So
that sounds about right.
So there's kind of a creepy factor to this. Wasn't there a movie?
It's from the movie Big.
And it's got Zoltar in it?
Yeah, that was the main thing from the movie Big. He made the wish, and spoiler alert, he made the wish, and it made him big.
Gotcha.
That's why I said I don't think anybody under the age of 50 would remember that, but you never know.
All right, so YouTube user is the closest. It's $7,000. So if you want to buy Zoltar, get your checkbook out and they'll crate them up and get them out to you.
Wow. I suppose so. It's probably, I'm sure it's all handmade, lots of labor in there.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine. Well, then you got to put that battery in there just to so it lights up at night and starts telling fortunes when it's unplugged. Okay. Next.
Terrify everyone. Next.
Pick two. When I saw this, I went, okay, it's a little interesting. That is a 1950s called a snapping turtle mower. Anybody want to guess what the snapping turtle mower cost? And you can see, hey, the presentation's pretty decent.
It's a nice restoration. I don't know that I'd want that on display. That little thing in the front there looks a lot like something else.
Yeah. Like
that I'm not sure I'd want on display in my house.
Looks like a little Joey. Okay.
But it's restored nice.
Yeah.
Kind of a neat little thing.
Well, yeah, it's at least presented decent, right?
Yeah.
Anybody want to guess what this 1950s snapping turtle mower is? Let's see. Loretta's 268, Sly Fox 550, Brendan B's 2200, Kim says 600, and Kim is right. Now $600. And here's what's cool about it, Jeff. It's self-propelled.
Wow, it's pretty advanced.
That's pretty advanced for 1950s.
I'm having a hard time picturing, and I collect oddball stuff. I like weird things, but I'm having a hard time picturing a lawnmower collector. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I would feel bad for anybody collecting lawnmowers.
Yeah, that just seems weird.
Hey, Bill, you want to come over and look at my lawnmower collection?
Check this one out. Yeah, I just don't get it, but hey, whatever.
All right.
Everybody got their thing.
Let's move on. Pick three. This one's a little bit on the weird end. So I'm thinking, okay, it's a hornet's nest. It's sure a big one. And if you're really into hornet's nest, it's sure a nice one. But it's a little bit weird. The presentation's a bit weird, right? We've got some other things surrounding it that look a
lot of clutter there.
A little cluttered up. But apparently people like hornet's nests. And in the copy, it says it is a firm, the price I'm going to give you, he says it's firm, it's a great condition. And he goes, the birds didn't get to it, whatever that means. So there you go. So who wants to buy this hornet's nest? Actually, maybe instead of sending them a shirt, we should buy the hornet's nest and ship that out. Maybe to Jay. Jay,
surprise.
You want a hornet's nest? Or we could put his hat in the hornet's nest.
Yeah, could dig it out.
Fish it out. Anyhow, okay. So I didn't see anybody too close. Susan, it's probably the closest. Flat says 50. It's $100 firm. Sly Fox says 175. You just wish you could get a hornet's nest for only $1.75.
I just can't see paying money for that, but
I know. Can you imagine instead of the lawnmower, you can go, hey, you want to come see my hornet's nest collection?
I mean, what do you do? I guess I don't know what you would do with that, but
I don't know.
I don't get it, but that's okay.
I don't
People
either.
can like what they want to like.
Well, the next one's even weirder, I think. Pick 4.
Yep.
This was apparently a vintage Mattel toy from 1971, and he's called Squishy Odd Bod Man Toy Monster. It's apparently some kind of troll. I don't know what in the hell. And I'm thinking, this doesn't look too fun.
No.
Even if you're a toy collector, like that's really bizarre. But, by the way, it's been listed for 37 weeks, Jeff.
Weird. It's surprising someone's jumped on that.
So if you want this, you better get on it.
Yeah, it's going to sell any minute.
Any second. Not every minute, every second. Any seconds is going to be gone. All right, so start guessing. Oh my God. Some of these people are probably looking this up. Don't cheat now. Jennifer, did you cheat? $20. Good guess. Mary Jo says, that's really ugly. Jennifer Anders says, just nope. Looks like a cyclops, says Sharon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the value in that either. But
No. Okay.
whatever.
Pick 5. This one you might want to
Yikes.
not be eating. It is a pink Kohler bathroom set that they're about to tear out, and they don't, they want to sell it. And but the toilet lid does have a crack, so you guys can start pricing these gems out. And I'm just kind of, the first time I saw it, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. My first house had pink in the bathroom, but not that much pink. I painted it right away, but it was hard to look at.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of in style in the 50s. Pink.
Yeah, my house. Yeah, my house had a very 50s vibe to it. My first house.
Yeah.
The bathroom had mint green tile and pink paint. It was something else.
Everybody says 0. Sly Fox, I don't know. He goes, it's $3,495. Yep. Kim says 2,500. All right, nobody's even close. Oh, there we go. We have a winner here. It was $250. It's now $150.
What a bargain!
You got to go pick it up. Yep. All right. It's a bargain. Pick 6. Oh, by the way, I see we have one of our guests in the back room. Hello,
Yep,
Marie. You can
Hi,
wave if you hear me. She's
Yep.
waving. Okay. Vintage donkey. Just what you need, is it, Jeff? Is a 1961 vintage donkey.
That's why I was up late last night. I was shopping for one of those. Thanks.
Yeah, I figured you were looking for it.
Yeah. Here we
So
go.
who wakes up and goes, God, I only need one more thing for my
You know what I need for my collection?
rubber collection, and it's the Sun Rubber Company vintage donkey. Okay, we got some guesses coming in. John Stewart says it's sold. Loretta says, I can't read what Loretta says. Loretta?
I think you got a little misspell there.
Yeah, well, that happens when you're trying to type fast. All right. Susan's the closest. Tony's pretty damn close. Sharon's really close to $25. Jennifer says creepy, $5. Kim had it right. Yeah. There we go. Dominic the donkey. Yeah.
That company made a whole range of stuff, and they were all weird looking.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very recognizable artistic style.
Yeah, it looks familiar to me, which is weird.
The company made a bunch of stuff like that, and my grandparents in their house had some of it. And it's all really weird, kind of creepy looking, like creepy old Victorian dolls, kind of creepy.
Now the girls are going to go crazy over the next thing. Pick 7. They're just going to go nuts over this.
Yes.
Geez, a shell ring, size 6. In the copy, it says there just might be one person out there that would dig having this authentic shell found on a beautiful beach in California. Size 6.5. Apparently they found it. So there you go.
Weird.
That doesn't look comfortable.
No.
Doesn't look good to me. It just looks delicate and it looks dangerous. But whatever. And it is, let's see who got it closest. I think Sharon. It's $20. So there you go. Get your money out.
Yep. It could be yours.
Power Band Squad says free. Yeah, that would be it. I wouldn't take it even for free. All right, next pick. Now this one, I was going to be, kind of dragging on this thing, and it ended up selling while I was looking at it. 1987 Monte Carlo. That's apparently an SS Coupe 2-door. It sounds desirable, right?
Yeah, there's a market for those. That family is called a G body, but I'm not a huge fan. But they're popular with a lot of guys. Chevy, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, they all use the same platform, so that you can get different models with different trim.
Yep.
That SS is probably one of the more desirable styles. People definitely like that car.
But why not get
There's
a
a
bottle
market
of
for it.
Windex? Why not get a bottle of Windex out and clean the
Yeah.
damn thing? And he maybe could have gotten 8 or 9 or 10,000 for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of hard to sell with a picture like that.
Look at the creepy mannequin head laying on it. I've never seen a windshield that dirty in my life, ever.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. All right, moving on. Pick 9, I have no idea even what it was. I had to read the copy before I knew what it was. Pick 9. Now, what in the hell is this? First, you guys can guess what it is, and then you can guess the price. Oh my God! What do you want to guess on this one? I don't think anybody even knows what it is. Nobody wants to attempt.
I could have guessed. I know what it is, and I never would have guessed.
It is a Japanese whale plushie.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Japanese whale plushie. That's seen a little time in fading. It was listed 16 weeks ago, so you better get on this if you want to buy this. It's $5. I'm gonna have you guys guess. It's $5. There you go. 16 weeks. That poor whale is gonna sit there another 16.
Yeah, I think that's going to get recycled, unfortunately, but we'll see.
I don't get it. Okay. Pick 10.
Whoops. Wrong button.
File couldn't be
again.
accessed.
I hit the wrong button.
That's fine.
How about that? There we go.
Pick 10. 3D printed cat vomit sign. Just what you need. I mean, just in case the cat vomits on the floor, you can go run in your closet and grab one of these 4 inches high sign.
I actually dated a gal that could have used that because she would have spent the time to put that sign up instead of spending the time cleaning it up. She'd have little landmines everywhere and say, "Oh, you can't sit on that chair. There's cat puke on it. Oh, don't go over in that corner. There's cat." And it would sit there for like a day.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was not cool. I didn't date her very long.
Anybody want to guess what these? I don't know if you get 1 or 2. I think you just get 1. Yeah, you just get 1. It's printed on both sides. Yep, there you go. $10. She says it is $7.
Oh, Sharon said 8.
Sharon
She's
was
pretty
the
close.
closest. There you go,
Yeah.
Sharon. Good job on the cat vomit sign. It's just, this stuff kills me, Jeff. I look at this. The
Yeah.
next one definitely will kill you. Go ahead and put a pic
Well,
up. What? There you go.
The funny thing is, I used to have that exact sleeping bag. I know exactly where it came
good
from.
night, everybody. I'm out of here. Oh my God. Did you really?
That was a promo given from, that was a sleeping bag. It was a promo from beer distributors just for random giveaways and whatnot.
Yeah.
My dad won it in a curling, what do they call the curling? Is it a bonspiel? He won it in a bonspiel, and it was just a bunch of stuff. And as a little kid, I was probably in 6th grade. As a little kid, anything beer related was just the coolest thing ever. So I thought I was pretty cool having that sleeping bag when I was like in 5th or 6th grade.
Go. Anybody want to guess this rare vintage Budweiser sleeping bag? I can only imagine why it's rare. You can sleep in, God knows how many people slept in it. That's not a problem. Did other things in it. You can buy this.
Let's not think about it too much.
No. Anybody want to guess? Kim says $45. Caillou says $25. Yeah, after a long night of drinking. Yes. That's what they were for, apparently. Who said this? This is the stain at the bottom.
Yeah,
Extra.
it looks a little,
You
it's
know?
in need of some cleaning.
It is extra. Okay. You pay me $10 and I'll throw it away for you.
That's
It's $100. Kenny did the best job there. Yeah, good job.
Kind of amazing.
Kenny. Yep, good job. All right. This never ceases to amaze. This one definitely will amaze everybody. Pick 12. We have a red chunk of rust. Somebody is selling a red chunk of rust off a 12, it says a 12.8 liter. There's no such thing. V5, there's no such thing. Dodge Malibu. Right, Jeff?
There's not a Dodge Malibu either. Malibu was made by Chevy.
It's all made up BS.
Yeah.
But somebody has this, and he wants to trade. So he's open to trades. Jeff, you can trade him a banana peel?
I'd rather have the banana peel.
Yeah.
Easier to throw away. I don't understand why anybody would, I don't know.
Caillou, is that for the chunk of rust, $5? Sharon says 20. Jennifer Andrews is laughing her butt off. Okay. Anyhow, they're asking $50. There you go.
Wow.
Well, it's such a rare car that doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
Why not?
That's got to be a joke. Someone doing that for a joke.
No, I opened, just hang on here. I'm going to open a different email because you have more, right?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead and keep going here. Why don't you take over? Because my notes cut off right there. So you go ahead and take over on these.
Okay, this is called the Whammo Clown Sprinkler. And believe it or not,
you
had
one
of those. I had one of those when I was at our cabin. We had one of those.
Well, you're going to want to buy this then.
Yeah, like the hat would, you plug a hose into it and the hat would lift up.
It lifts, yeah.
And sprinkle around. So what are they guessing for? Oh, they just marked it down. Who's got a good guess for what they just marked it down to? Nope. Susan's close. Really close. That's a pretty good guess. Susan's really close. It actually went for, they're asking $15 for it. Marked down. So someone's going to get a good deal on that. Let's see. What do we got next here? Next up.
Oh, this is, okay. I've got my notes now. But this is a Scooby-Doo ramen bowl. That's pretty, particular.
Yeah.
Somebody decided, hey, let's make a Scooby-Doo ramen bowl with chopsticks. It's got the accessory chopsticks. It's brand new. And I just say we move on. No comment on that one.
Yeah, I don't recall a lot of ramen being eaten in that show, but hey, what do I know?
No, I don't think so. And this one, maybe, for a guy like me, I look at this and I go, yuck, whatever. But this is a Jabba the Hutt coffee cup. I don't know how in the world you drink the coffee out of it, though.
I don't think, yeah. Star Wars collectors are a different breed. I can't judge because I kind of used to be one of them, but yeah, Star Wars collectors will collect anything.
Yeah, this one sold right away.
That doesn't surprise me.
Took 4 days of waiting. The guy sold it for a whopping what? Somebody said it's not the mama. No, it's not the mama. That was a different show. Susan says 25 it sold for. Sharon 18. Caillou says I like the deal for the handle. Yeah. 125 from Kim's. Lifelock says 45. It sold for only $5. A bargain.
Someone had to have it.
A bargain. All right. Throw up the next one.
Now that looks pretty cool.
Yes. This is a very strange thing to sell. He is selling the body off the world famous jet-powered doghouse. So they're turning it back into the jet outhouse. So they want to get rid of the doghouse and put it back to the jet outhouse. So you can buy this thing. You can pick it up in Big Bend, Wisconsin.
Oh, just the house though, not the actual jet stuff. You just sell them the body.
Just the outside or the body of the jet. Yes. So apparently, it can be picked up today, and it is how much for this world famous jet powered doghouse body? Who wants to guess on that? Flat says $3.99. Brendan says it must have been taco
It's
night.
been taco night. Yeah.
Yeah, pizza's $200. Not too bad, Pete. Pretty close. Pizza's $500. It's $100.
Yeah.
$100. So there you go. But remember, it's world famous. Get on it.
Click that one.
All right. The next thing is another collector sprinkler for those that are sprinkler collectors. A Mr. T sprinkler.
Hot market.
Yeah.
That's the hot market for 2025.
Yep,
We're going to predict that right now. It's going to be the year of sprinkling and lawn mowing collection.
Yeah, I think that's what we should start. Could you imagine grabbing your neighbor and say, hey, come on, let's go look at my sprinkler collection? Man, that guy would never talk to you. Okay.
Yeah, I just drove down to Iowa to pick up a new sprinkler for my collection. What a day.
Oh, my goodness. All right. It is how much? People are already guessing. Susan says 30. Flat says 69. Caillou says 30. I'm going to get you, sucker, says Jennifer. Exactly. Brendan says it helps the lawn grow. Okay. It's $80. Nobody was even close. $80 or best offer. So you can offer Mr. T a little less and maybe get it. All right.
Yep.
Pick 19 is even really weird. Super weird. There we go. This is no one would ever guess what this is. It is a jumping spider enclosure. Think about that, Jeff. It is
thanks.
Very particular cage just for jumping spiders. And with this, you get the food container. I don't know what jumping spiders eat, but it must be pretty small. You get a brush, you get a tweezers, and you get a spray bottle. What in the hell's the tweezers for? And what in the hell's that spray bottle for? That's what I want to know. Actually, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But if you want to guess real quick, I'll tell you what. First person who can guess the closest out of the first four, I will send him a hat. Are you ready? Go. Do, do, do.
Da, 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 da.
Dan. Oh, and Dan probably would know. He's a biologist, or he's into reptiles. He says to offer the spider food, the tweezers. Dan Nadrella. Dan says, did we pass? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going by so quick. Dan, I think you got it's $80. You said 80.
Yeah, pretty good guess.
Congratulations.
So Dan, email me,
Dan.
and I'll email me, and we're going to send you another hat.
Email Jeff. His email is in the beginning.
Jeff P at untoldradioam.com.
Yes. All right. Pick 20. This is the final thing.
Whoa.
If anybody can guess the name, it is a Rocktopus fidget device. Rocktopus fidget device. It's only $10. I'm not going to have you guys guess. It's $10. What do you think, Jeff? Do you like that?
No.
The guy who printed that had a little too much, maybe, time on his hands.
Yep.
On his 3D printer.
Yep.
All right, that is definitely enough of that crap.
Yeah. Looks like we got Mike in the backstage too, ready to go.
Hey, Mike. We'll be with you guys soon. Let's do the news.
Untold Radio news that can be a bit weird is right now.
All right.
You cut me off again.
Sorry, I twitched.
That's fine. That's fine.
I twitched.
You twitch. That's what Alex used to do, is twitch. I kind of like it because I kind of expect it mid-sentence. Okay, so Kim Christensen brought this to my attention first, but of course, since then, I've had only 100 people email it to me, and I don't think we're any closer to an answer on this one.
Oh,
And can you
one
throw up, I think it's the picture of the rescue
Yep.
team in the orange suits. I think everybody probably knows. And I don't know if we're any closer to an answer.
That's a national story.
Yeah, I've heard some. Yeah, it did make national news. Very sad. They found 2 men that were apparently doing Bigfoot research. The only reason I'm bringing up this bummer news, it's one, they're definitely gone, but 2, we can all learn from what happened to them. You know, you're definitely going to want to be very, very prepared if you're going to enter the woods. The woods are very dangerous, especially this time of year. Very dangerous.
It's so easy to get lost if you don't know what you're doing.
Yep. Or freeze to death, or drowned, or get turned around, or get bit by something, or whatever. You need to be prepared.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I have heard any updates on the
No, I haven't either.
identities.
I heard the original story and that was it.
Yeah.
Sad stuff.
And why they haven't released the names, I don't have any idea. Maybe the family asked them not to. I don't know.
Yeah.
So if anybody hears anything, I would love to know. It's super sad. Super sad. Okay. Next, NASA is watching a very vast, I love it when they use the words vast, growing anomaly in the magnetic field.
1 second here.
Yeah, no problem.
Photo 2 looks like. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
There. So the red area represents this magnetic anomaly on Earth that is near, I believe, the South Atlantic. And NASA is calling it basically kind of a dent in the magnetic field. So that's what's going on. I don't know how it's going to affect our weather. I don't think they do. I don't think they really know, but the field strength in this area is just reduced to almost nothing. It's interesting.
I just read an article too. There's a spot in the Indian Ocean where there's measurably less gravity. Like there's it's a spot out in the middle of the Indian Ocean that,
Really?
yeah. If I see it again, I'll send you the link. But there, it's something underneath. There's some kind of strange density anomaly, and it's measurably less gravity under this certain area of the Indian Ocean. So that's strange. And also, I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago how the magnetic pole is moving at an accelerated
Yeah.
rate. I mean, it's always moving, but in the last couple of years, it's moved.
Yeah, to the point it may flip at some point, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it will. I mean, it will flip at some point. Hopefully not when we're here.
Tomorrow, how about when I'm drinking coffee? It won't, I hope.
Hopefully not. It's bad when that happens.
We'll
All
flip
kinds of
upside
issues.
down. Okay.
Well, in the transition period, you don't have protection from radiation.
No, that's true.
So that you'll get high radiation levels from the sun and solar radiation during that transition period when it's flipping. So yeah,
All
it's
right.
theorized that that's a driver of evolutionary change, is that where there's increased mutations during that period. Interesting stuff.
From the gravitational?
No,
Or
when
the magnetic?
the poles shift, there's a period of increased
Oh,
radiation.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
yeah.
there's increased mutations. So there's theories that that's been a driver of rapid evolution in the past. Who knows?
We don't know. It
don't
hasn't
know.
happened in recent history,
No.
but no doubt it has happened, and it's going to happen probably right before our show next Wednesday.
Well,
You think?
if that's, let's
I don't
hope
know.
not.
All
Let's
right.
hope it's not for thousands of years.
All right, let's get our guests on. We have,
Yeah.
I mean, we can have some fun with them after we talk some Skunk Ape stuff. All right, tonight we have Marie Dumont. She's a native Floridian and the founder of the Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group. It says Marie is a dedicated, analytical, detail-oriented, experienced investigator who has been seriously researching Bigfoots and skunk apes in Florida for many years. Excuse me. Marie's field work Specialty is finding structures and unusual things out in the woods. So we'll get more into that. And she has found some footprints. And then Mike, hang on here. Mike is a fourth generation Florida native. He's become a dedicated and experienced researcher with over 5 years of field research. And 5 years of research in Florida, Jeff, would be like 40 years of research up here in Minnesota, trust me.
Yeah.
It says, but has a lifetime of experience spent in the Florida woods and swamps. Mike's fieldwork specialty is discovering new and active research areas, locating footprints and structures. He is also very good with sounds and vocalizations. And that's all pretty tough stuff, man, down there. So let's get Marie and Mike up.
Marie and Mike, hello.
Hey, there you guys are.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
So have you, first question, have you guys ever had a run-in with a gator or something while you're out? A snake or some damn thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Always.
Yeah, we've stepped on rattlesnakes and water moccasins.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Mhm.
I heard my first wood knock down there in Florida. believe it or
Nice.
not.
What area?
I was in Pensacola. I was with Matt Moneymaker at the time. Matt did the wood knock. Hear this response from maybe, quarter mile away, but it was loud. It was clear. And I just I'd never heard one, and I'm just like, oh, and all the people that we were with, like 3 other people, and they're all like, oh my God, because when you first start, you're kind of skeptical, and you hear a wood knock at 3 a.m. in a Florida swamp, and you're like, okay, I'm a believer now.
Right.
So, well, tell us. I'll start with you, Marie. How in the world did you get interested in this topic?
Oh, boy. Well, I've always been a paranormal investigator. I've been doing that for over 30 years. So it started out with ghosts, aliens and UFOs kind of thing. And then it evolved into Bigfoot because I had some friends who were really interested in it. And I was like, okay, well, let me see. And so I was on a camp out with some friends 7 years ago in the Ocala National Forest, and I heard a vocalization. So it was loud, lengthy. It was like coldest night of the year, 1:30 in the morning. There was like 15 of us that were camping out, so we all heard it. So that was what did it for me. I was like, oh my God, they really do exist. It was just one loud, very lengthy. It would take incredible lung capacity to do something like that. And it sounded like the classic Ohio Bigfoot howl, is what it sounded like, to give you an idea. So that's what did it for me.
Oh, Doug, you're muted.
Sounded like an air raid siren, the Ohio Hall.
Yeah, just loud. And it wasn't that far away, maybe a quarter of a mile, half a mile away. It was very close, very loud. So.
Okay. And how'd you get started, Mike?
Well, I was not a believer at all until about probably around 8 or 9 years ago. I was going fishing with one of my best friends, and we were up by Homosassa, Florida. And I love going out that time of year to go fishing. And that time of year, the sun rises and comes up, peeking above the trees about 6:30 in the morning. The reason I said that is because I'm driving down this road to a private boat ramp. And as I go around a curve, I come back around the next curve, I see this dude coming up out of the ditch. And I'm like, that's a big guy. And he came walking up, and I go around the curve. And as I'm coming around it, he walks into the light on the road. And when he walked into the light, he turned to reddish brown hair. You could see the follicles. You could see his arm swing. I couldn't see face. It was still a little too far away. And then I came around this next curve, and as I came back, it was like a weird S curve. As I came back, he was gone. But it did something to me. And I knew I had to prove I wasn't crazy to myself. I had to know what I saw.
Yeah. Did you, you didn't get a look at his face or anything?
No, I didn't get to see his face, but when he went from the shadow like that dark shadowy figure crossing the road and hit that light. The light had just come half across the street. And when he walked into that light, he turned from shadow to reddish brown. And like, it was like a little illumination. You could see the hair almost, but it was still 50 yards away, but it was close enough to see a few details, you know, but his arms were so long and he was so broad, not super thick, but tall and lean, but built looking. And he just walked across casual, was walking. And I came around the curve with my mouth open. As I came back around, he was gone. I stopped, got out, nothing. But I like, after that, I went and watched every episode of every type of Bigfoot documentary for about 6 months. That's how I ended up meeting Marie.
Yeah, that'll do it. Were you already doing research when Mike had his sighting, Marie?
Probably. I think I've been doing it for 6 years and he's been doing it for 5. So I was already going out solo by myself, you know, in the swamps every weekend.
Oh, you actually went it by yourself?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Nice.
She's the one she forgets that she's like 5'2", and you know, and she goes off with this little green light, and all you see is a little green light walking off. Like, hey, Marie, gone out in the wood. I'm like, we can't help you if you're gone. One day we're gonna see something carrying this green light, taking off into the woods. It's gonna be Marie.
Yeah, you're a brave gal. That's awesome.
So, well, what does it take to scare you, Marie?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Well, okay. I take that back. Seeing a human in the woods. Coming across humans in the woods. I know what I'm out there for. I don't know what they're out there for, because there's creepy people out there. That's the scariest thing to me.
Especially when you see people back, and if you happen to see people back where we're at.
Yeah.
Because not too many people are back there.
No.
Ever.
Well, how do you guys get back there, and what vehicle do you take? And I mean, how do you start? So, okay, you're going to go out on a thing with, you guys are going to go head out. What do you bring? What's your typical equipment? What vehicle do you take? And how far away do you have to go?
Well, if we take a vehicle, it's Mike's truck, typically. We pile up in it and, you know, because he has a big 4x4 truck, so he can go just about everywhere. So we either do that or we just go to these locations, these trails, specific trails that you can just park and start walking. Mm-hmm. And we really don't have to go that far. We really don't. We tend to find things. The most things we find are probably closer to the trails. Whenever we've gone really, really, really far back in places, we haven't really found that much.
The two most active areas that we go into, one area is where I grew up, and I've been there my whole life, back in that area. And the other one is not too far from there, but all that separates it from the homes is a creek. Mm-hmm. That's it. But there's no way, you got to know a way to get across that creek. So they can literally sit right there and watch the human people do all their fun, whatever silly human stuff they do, and have a creek there, and nobody ever goes into that swamp. It's a real dense swamp with just a creek blocking right there at the neighborhoods.
Yeah, it looks like a jungle kind of thing. It's really, really dense.
Now, there are some areas, though, like in the Green Swamp, that we have to go back in there. You know, you're miles back in there.
Yes.
And that's different. But we drive to an area that we want to look at so we can, it's miserable down here, especially in the summer. You can't go out walking for 5-6 hours. Our trips are usually 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll come back. If we want to go back out later in the afternoon, it's kind of like fishing. You do it in the morning, you do it in the afternoon.
Yeah. Do you guys find that there's more activity, or everything's better in Florida in the wintertime? Or is it still active in the summer?
I think it's better in the winter and spring.
I think spring has been my most.
Spring, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When everything starts getting real green and lush is when I start having those areas to get real productive.
Right.
I've always wondered whether there isn't, I'm not saying all of them, but that some would migrate down the river valley and end up down south in the, you know, for the late winter, eventually hitting Florida, late winter, spring, because it's a long ways. And then they have to, they start migrating north, depending on the food sources. As spring hits and there's food sources again, they're going to head north. It's just animals have to go where their food is.
Yes.
And there's plenty of cellulose and crap if they're into vegetation. Even in Florida in the wintertime, a lot of trees drop their leaves, and things still die off in Florida, even though it's warm, to kind of regenerate. But so you're saying spring? Do you agree with that, Marie?
Yes.
Spring, okay, early spring, late spring.
It seems like it's been around February to like May.
February, March.
Mm-hmm.
February, March is when I've had the most, right when everything is really nice and pretty and green. It seems like that if there's more cover in the areas that are closer to these housing developments and different things, and like some of those areas, that's when I think they don't have nothing to hide in during the winter. And also I think it's more relevant with the dry and wet season, because they go from flood areas. You go into one area in 1 month, the next month you go in there and you can't get there, period. And you won't be able to get there for 3 or 4 months. And then you'll go back one and it's completely 4 feet lower than it was. And you can actually go back and look around.
Exactly.
And March and February are 2 of our driest months. Okay. So it kind of makes sense. We can get into areas we can't always get into.
Right.
Either.
So do you think that they're just not active at other times of the year? Or do you think they're just coming into different areas? In other words, what do you think they do the rest of the year?
Well, like you said, they go where the food is. They go where the food sources are. So, we do have huckleberries. They're smaller than in the Pacific Northwest. So, when it's huckleberry time, they tend to go that way, probably, like Ocala. Ocala has a lot of huckleberry.
They do? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so just, like I said, it's just wherever the food source is. If it's harder to get food, then they may go and get fish, or I don't know. Mussels and things like that. So
Are there any reports by some of these spring-fed rivers? Like I don't think it would be like the Weeki Wachee, but there's Hermosa, there's the Crystal River. Rainbow. There's a number of rivers that are spring-fed, and they're I don't know. I always wonder if there's any Bigfoot sightings along those rivers.
Oh yes.
Well, I live across the street from Weeki Wachee.
Oh, you do?
Yep. I moved in
Highway 19.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I moved from Pasco to Hernando with my girlfriend, and so I'm starting to learn this area now. I've actually been going into a lot of these areas and starting to learn this area up this way. It's a lot different landscape up here versus over in ours, more central.
Yeah, there's a lot of water. There's a lot of springs and rivers. And
there's a lot of woods, and I know. I'm actually more familiar with that area that you guys are from than probably any other area in Florida, because I used to do so much driving around there. I had friends near Weeki Wachee, and just I got familiar with it. Spent a lot of time out there at night in the early mornings when the sun's coming up, and man, I'll tell you, it's a cool area. It really is.
My first sighting was in Homosassa, which is only 15 minutes from there, north. So right almost by the Homosassa River back there, is where I had my first sighting.
And in the summertime, it's hot, right? It's hot and humid, so they probably sit in water a lot of the times. They get away from the bugs, and it's cooler, so they're probably going to go to sit in some stream or spring or something like that.
Well, have you guys thought, though, do you wonder if they just boogie out and head north?
Yeah.
The question of migration is so varied, and that nobody really knows, and there's a lot of theories on it. I'm kind of thinking there's no pattern, that it's just some probably migrate, some don't. Maybe it's based on age, whether they're female or male. And it's because it's so varied. That's why nobody's picked up on any pattern. It's just so damn varied.
Right.
But what thoughts have you guys had? Obviously, you guys talk about this stuff. Do you think they migrate at all out of Florida?
I don't think they have to. I mean, maybe the ones in North Florida will migrate into Georgia or something.
Right.
But when they're down here, Central Florida, South Florida, I don't think they migrate that far, if they do at all.
Okay.
I just really don't.
There's food year round. There's clean, fresh water year round. There's,
Right.
we're a pretty healthy environment here for something to live year round.
But my question is, Marina, have you thought about this? So maybe the ones that are residents of Florida don't migrate out, but what about residents of Minnesota when it's 40 below? 'Cause we have a lot of Bigfoots up here too. And I'm always like, well, where the hell
come
do
on
they go?
down. Come on down.
Do they head down? The northern ones
Mhm.
They're catching
head
a
down
ride.
to the warmer
They
climate.
could. They
And
very
then,
well
and
could.
then they're going to leave then and come back. They're going to leave. They're going to come back and migrate back north.
Just like the snowbirds in April,
Exactly.
I'm blown away. If you watch the maps and look at the corridors, how they run, they can go anywhere they want to through the United States down to us, and you never see them ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, we have the Florida corridor here. And basically, because of all the development that's going on in Florida, the state is in the process of purchasing parcels of land that allows wildlife to migrate through the state. So it starts like in South Florida, and then there's a path that goes on the east coast, and there's a path that goes up the west coast. So the animals the wildlife can still migrate, can move around without dealing with going through neighborhoods and getting run over by cars, which still happens. But that's the purpose of the corridor. So,
Well, these are things I like to think about, because if the more we can kind of think about this crap and figure it out, maybe it'll help us figure out their patterns. Mapping, the Bigfoot mapping project is kind of really interesting. It's kind of revealing some corridors.
yes.
Okay, let's talk about food, because man, Florida's got everything, right? You've got from seafood and things like clams to mussels. You've got all that ocean, coastline. You guys have more coastline there than anywhere, and there is a lot of coastline that's you can't really get to because it's full of mangrove trees, and it's just there's only a certain part of the coast people go to where it's sandy beaches.
Correct.
It's not a sandy beach. They're not going there. There's
Usually the places we stay away from.
Yeah, of course. but still, those very dangerous parts of the coast would offer a huge amount of food in the shallow water around the roots.
Yes.
I would imagine there's all sorts of fruits that grow in there. Certainly a lot of birds, reptiles. There's going to be young gators, estuaries for gators. I don't know. So do you think that they're feeding on what? I mean, is it wild hogs? Is it deer? I don't know what you guys see on a normal day-to-day basis.
I think all of the above, what you just said.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say mostly.
Okay. Well,
I would
let me interrupt.
say mostly deer and hog, but of course there's other things they can eat.
And a lot of waterfowl too. I've seen a lot of different.
there's a lot.
I don't know why, but especially those white bird, the white
They're like a little heron.
I found them more than anything just
Egrets
shredded
and herons.
to pieces
Yes.
all over.
Yes. That's a common one that we find. Definitely.
We've
Well,
even
can
found.
Can you name? I don't want to interrupt you, but give me a laundry list of animals that you see on a pretty regular basis down there.
Oh God.
A laundry list.
Deer, hog, pythons, gators, snakes, raccoons, armadillos,
possum,
coyotes.
gators.
Any iguanas now?
Well, they're down in Miami.
Oh, they're down south. Okay.
We have some members of our group that are down in Miami, and we go down there and see them every once in a while. That was cool to see. The iguanas running around everywhere.
Iguanas,
Yeah. I mean, Florida's a buffet, and you guys have. I would imagine you probably have some wild hogs, don't you? And
We have a lot. We have, they're a big nuisance.
Huge.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yes, huge population of hogs for sure.
That's the one thing. If you had to ask me what I worry about when I go out every day, it's going to be all hogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Definitely.
300 or 400 pound hog can ruin your day.
Yeah.
200 pound, 100 pound hog can ruin your day.
Yeah.
We found hogs back in one of our areas, which was one of the weirdest things ever, especially if anybody who ever goes hunting knows. It's not too often that you go out and you find a hog with 4 broken legs.
Mm-hmm.
And we found a hog that was alive with 4 broken legs.
Oh,
We walked up on it.
That's just like the deer up here, Mike. I had a game warden call me and say they went on an island and they found a whole pile of deer that were still alive with their legs broken.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, that's creepy. And
That is very
think
creepy.
about it. It's like a refrigerator.
Yes.
You break their legs, they're immobile, but they're not dying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll stay.
We were out with our friend David Shealy, and we were in one of our areas, and we heard this tree break, and this limb that was about 20 foot long, green, came crashing down to the ground. We're like, what the hell happened? Well, 10 minutes later, we get away from that tree, and we found that hog. And we think we walked in on something, and maybe he kind of scurried up that tree to get a good look at what was going on with us, and maybe exceeded the weight limit of that branch. The branch was about that big around, and it just was green as it could be, and came crashing down to the ground for no reason. No wind blowing, no nothing. Then we found that hog with the 4 broken legs.
Jeez. And do you want to explain, Marie, for our audience, your theories? What's going through your head? You see a hog with 4 broken legs. What do you think? What goes through your head?
Oh, I definitely think that they're coming back for it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's why you would break legs, is so they can't go anywhere. You can go off and find some more or come back later on. Get it when you're ready to get it. That's what I think.
Yeah, literally walked right up to him, and I thought it was dead. And then I kind of stepped on a branch as I got close to it, and he jumped up and snorted and goes, oh, good Lord. I thought he was going to come charge at me. And he didn't charge at me. I'm like, well, that's weird. And he kind of got up and just did a circle and went back down. I'm like, he's hurt. You can realize, you can see him. He was all gimpy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something people don't think about, that how fresh you could keep a deer for, I don't know, I'm guessing a week. The meat would still stay somewhat fresh. And they probably wouldn't perish from lack of water for at least 5 days, 6 days. Mm-hmm. And so that's their refrigerator.
That's about that hog was found about maybe 2 blocks away from where a couple of years ago we found what I call a tripwire. It was a vine about that big around, and it was about 40 foot long and went around 3 different trees and had a stick going around it to pull tension to it. And it was about 24 inches off the ground, perfect deer height for it. And it was right where if you were running something and you had one standing over here, if the deer's going to turn and go right into where that tripwire was. I was blown away by that. And it was this perfect horizontal. It was amazing.
And what do you think the tripwire thing was for?
I think it was to slow down deer. I think they chased the deer run into that and trip over it, stumble. They got them a meal.
Gotcha.
Or it slows them down in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so amazing when you see this stuff and you go, yeah. And they probably just need a few little things like that. It's a lot of times it's kind of what I think tree structures are, and we're going to let's talk about that. I think they're like deer blinds. Would be my guess. They use them just to break up their profile, and they can stand behind them. But I've noticed up here, and you can tell me down there, a lot of the things I see, the structures are built right by deer trails.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
always,
every time.
Oh,
almost
always.
Every single time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, let's talk about structure.
I don't know if it's their trail or the deer trail.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But go ahead and tell us about, just kind of what you've found. And if you have any photos or anything you really want us to show, you can always send them to Jeff on Messenger and he can throw them up on screen. There's something really cool. Or unless, did they send you anything, Jeff?
No, but
okay.
if you send me something, I'm happy to put it up.
Yeah.
We have a lot of them. I just don't know how easy accessible it is right now.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Our website. You can go to our website, Jeff.
Okay.
MidFloridaBigfoot.com. Look at the research gallery, and you'll see a bunch of pictures there.
Yeah, well, Jeff could even throw that up, and we could go through some stuff that way.
There's a lot of good pictures of footprints and structures and everything else on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
What's your website again, please?
MidFloridaBigfoot.com.
MidFloridaBigfoot.com.
There we go.
Okay.
So, what about the structures? How often do you find them? What are they like down there in Florida? And what do you look for? And where do you look?
Well, first of all, our building materials, if a Bigfoot was making something, building something, our building materials are really brittle, fragile. They're the trees are scrawny. You know, you're dealing with pine trees, cypress trees, live oaks or whatever. They're all very brittle. They're skinny.
Palmetto palms a lot.
Yeah. You try to do something, they're always breaking, snapping. So it's very hard to find, something like a structure. I have found a teepee structure in Mayaca State Park that was only 18 inches high.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the materials that were around, just little twigs. So something assembled a little teepee structure out of twigs. So it just depends on what they have to build things with. Now in Ocala National Forest, I found what looked like, to me, like a wall. It was huge. It was about 40 feet long. 2 trees had fallen over, been broken and fallen over at the same height. There were X's in it. There was huge arches across it. It looked like a giant wall. But underneath it were more building materials, more dead trees and branches just laying there, like something brought in all this stuff and just started to construct things with it, So
I can tell you the coolest thing I ever found was before I met Marie, I was going out by myself when I first really got going. I don't really go by myself anymore. I had two experiences that kind of shut that down a little bit. Not that I know a lot more now than I did then, and I understand why the things happened to me, because I was, I didn't know what to do. I was acting like a hunter, walking through the woods, full camo, sneaking around, being quiet, went out looking for things, and I found it. And it didn't like being found like that. It was like sneaking in someone's backyard, and or coming to your house when you're sleeping. And but I found an inverted, one of the first, what I've heard from other people too, is one of the first inverted trees that's been found in Florida, with like a cypress tree that was about 50 foot long, and the root ball is giant root ball flipped up in the air and between 2 trees, and the cypress tree came from a different area. There was no divot, no nothing in the ground. It was just like a marker 15 feet away from a trail. And it was like, it looked so much like a marker saying, look at me, how strong I am, type of thing. Mm-hmm. And it was just this beautiful cypress tree going up inverted with a root ball.
Is cypress wood, Mike, extremely tough?
It is tough.
It's tough.
It's
just thin.
Tough. It's insect repellent, basically. You can't really eat through it really easy. It's definitely durable. It's very strong.
What are your thoughts on that supposed Bigfoot in that? I think it's called, I
know which one you're talking about, where he's ripping the tree apart.
Yeah, I think I saw a skunk ape and it's ripping bark
I think
off.
that's one of the best videos I've ever seen.
Okay.
Just because of how hard that would be to fake.
Yes.
Reaching in, grabbing cypress trees and ripping them apart like they're nothing.
Ripping. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be hard to do.
Take huge strength.
Yeah. And that thing did it like it was nothing. Like, look, it was looking for food or something. It's just, I've looked at that video so many times. I swear there's a little one in there too somewhere. If you look farther back in.
Yeah. I'm totally agreeing.
It looks like there's something else. Yeah.
Do you guys know who owns that or who shot that? Does anybody?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I heard it came from Mississippi or Louisiana or something
right.
one time. It looked like Georgia or Florida at first, but I can't tell. exactly. I don't know the exact history of it.
Yeah, I'd love to get a hold of the gentleman who shot it.
So
then you can get the original film or whatever you shot it on videotape. Go ahead, Marie.
well, one of the most unique structures that we have found are square structures.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, and we have found 2 of them in the exact same spot, exact same trees, a year apart from each other. And there's 4 sticks that are standing up between 2 trees, and they're squares. And we found them twice, 2 different times. And Jeff, you can see those on the.
Yep, I'm looking for that right. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
One second
This is
here.
really unusual. And most people have never seen this before.
All right, throw it up. I'm going to shut my camera off just to make more room on the screen here. Go ahead and throw it up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the first one from May 2023.
Yep,
And then so, summertime, you get the rains, the swamps flood, so the sticks fall, because this area floods, it's a swamp, right? So these sticks fall and they float away, right, with all the other sticks. This is the second one that Ruby and I found in February this past year. It's the exact same trees.
Wow.
Exact same trees.
Cool.
I took a bunch of pictures of the 2 and I compared them. I'm like, wait a minute. And I called Ruby and I'm like, holy crap, look at this. It's the exact same trees that this square structure has been built in the
Remember, it started making a little more sense too after we got back we went out to Washington. We did a trip out to Washington State and spoke at a little festival, and we met some people and they were telling us about how they think they're like different tribes that they have and different markers to mark their tribes and different things. And I was like, wow, we find some really cool things that not much structure as a symbols, like little symbols, and just, you don't have an answer for it.
So everyone I've ever spoken to or shown these pictures to, they've never seen that before at all.
Yeah, that's weird. And it's weird how similar they are. I mean, they're
yeah.
But they're in the exact same trees. That's the thing. The exact same spot in the swamp. And you can tell they're different structures. They're built.
Oh, okay. So you found 2 different types of structures,
yes,
but in the same exact tree.
Exact same spot.
Ah, that's even weirder. Yeah.
Exact same tree.
That's bizarre. That is strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess something that we do find quite a bit of is, like I said, the building the structures is a little difficult with some. You don't find giant structures, but what you do find, and it's very simple, are trees that just seem to be in an area where not one other tree's moved, but you get these trees that are pushed over and the root balls come up at a perfect angle, and under that angle's been dug out. I found one. It was the coolest one ever. It was a group of 3 palmetto palms. Palmetto palms don't get pushed over by this wind. They don't get damaged. Like it just don't happen. They're anchored in the ground a lot better. This was 3 of them that were pushed over, and they were at a perfect angle like this. And on this side was a skinned tree about, 12 inches around, and it was supporting this side.
Looks
and
like
on the other side, it was supporting, another one was supporting this side. So it was being supported on both sides with the root balls up in the air, and it had been dug out underneath. And there was 4 more like that, smaller versions in the same area.
Very strange. I'm not sure which picture that is. You guys got a lot of good pictures, though. I posted the website in the chat.
Yeah,
you guys got a lot of great pictures.
That one's not in the photo gallery.
We apologize. There's a lot of pictures in there.
Oh yeah, you got some great pictures here.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so what is some of the better evidence that you found? Have you guys ever found, hair or footprints?
Well, let's talk about the footprints.
Okay.
So,
found lots of good ones of them.
Yeah. So in February, we did a camp out at Jennings State State Forest. It's just outside of Jacksonville. And we were doing a camp out with some friends. We got there on a Friday. It had lightly rained before we got there. And we didn't know anything about the area. We were just going for a camp out and go exploring, right? So we met some volunteer security people out there, because in the state parks in Florida, you're not allowed to leave your campsite after dark. So even though you're camping in the forest, you can't leave your campsite in the forest, which is really goofy. But anyway, so we met these volunteers, and they like, hey, we'll take you out if you want. And we're like, yeah. So they took us to the spot, just dropped us off, not too far from the power lines. And we were on the road, a dirt road, but there was like a little forest road that intersected it. So I went to the right and left. So it was dark. I had my little flashlight. I looked to the right, boring. I looked to the left. It looks super creepy. There's canopies of trees. It's dark. It looks like a tunnel. It just looks scary. That's where I want to go. So I start walking down that path through the sugar sand. And it had been kind of like tilled up, so it was somewhat chunky and loose. And I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What's that? It looks like a footprint. And I'm like, I start looking around trying to figure out where the other one was, and then I find another one. And I called Mike and the rest of the team over. I'm like, hey, guys, come take a look at this. And sure enough, they said it looked like footprints. So we measured them. They were 16 inches long and had a 54-inch stride, and they went for a quarter of a mile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like we went back the next day. We didn't know how long it really went, but it was 54 to 56 or 7 inches in between them for a quarter mile, and went down and ran downhill into a creek, and they stopped at the creek. And then different size were coming back from the other side of the creek in.
But you could see it in
the creek.
Yeah, you could see it in the sugar sand. The prints weren't that easy, because sugar sand's like beach sand, right? So it's going to be hard to see. But that's one of the casts.
This is one of the ones from the sugar sand. It's hard to get, but if I look close, you can see that big old, there's actually we didn't even know it at first, but there's a huge toe print right there.
Yeah.
But I have a really awesome 3D scan that we did of this.
Yeah.
So the heel looks good. The heel looks really good
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah.
It's beastly.
Yeah. So we took
the
pictures,
curvature to it
we
all.
took videos, we took 3D scans of it, we measured everything, we did everything we possibly could to record this and cast them. So we were like, okay, it's late at night. We could only see 2 on Friday night. We were going to go back on Saturday morning to look in the daytime. So we're like, okay, let's just go back to camp. So we go back to the camp. I'm at campsite 8 with Ruby, and Ruby and I are car camping. Our cars are at least 15 feet away from each other. And then Mike and Chris and Kaylin were at the next campsite, and they were tent camping. So I'm in my car trying to sleep. I can never sleep on the first night wherever I go. So I'm just laying there in my car. And at about 3 or 4 in the morning, I hear something big and bipedal walking alongside my car on the driver's side. It just walked back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. Just back and forth.
Could you feel the vibrations from the...
No, I couldn't feel it, but kind of, because of the sound.
It's like you feel the sound almost.
Yeah, you feel the sound, but it wasn't like it was shaking my car or anything. But so it did that. It walked back and forth, and I'm like, what's going on here? Is this Ruby? Why is she walking so loud next to my car? And then it pushed my car. It pushed the back of my car. And I was like, whoa, what the heck is this? But I had blinds on my windows. It's pitch dark outside. There's no way you were going to see anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what was this? So in the morning, sunlight, I get up, I go down to where Mike and Chris are in their tents, and Mike comes out of his tent with his son, and he's like, man, we didn't sleep at all last night, and we heard something big and bipedal walking around our tents. And I'm like, oh my God. So did something see us out there when I found the print? And did it follow us back to the campsite? Because it pushed my car. I'm the one who found the prints. So, coincidence? Don't know. But that was an amazing experience. And I even reported it to the BFRO after a couple months. And they sent out an investigator to go check out all the details. Everything matched up perfectly. And so Matt Moneymaker posted it on Facebook, and he knows a lot more about Jennings State Forest than I do. And he says that place is famous for a Bigfoot that likes to hang around campsites at night.
Interesting.
So we found the prints and had the encounter at our tents and cars that same night.
Yeah, it's pretty spooky when they push, whether you're in a cabin, a truck, or camper. It's quite
right.
It's like, well, what else could do that? There's really nothing.
Nothing.
And there's been reports down in Florida of them like really rocking cars.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember that story of that guy? I think he was at a boat launch, and he was trying to back his boat into the lake, or no, he was there because they couldn't get the boat started, and something just grabbed his truck and was like just rocking it and shaking it. I think that happened down in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I heard that, but I can tell you a crazy story.
Yeah, please do it. Go ahead, Mike.
Right, Marie, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I had one of my creepiest ones. Like I had two that scared the crap out of me, really, really bad. And like I said, that's before I was with the group. I was out by myself doing stuff, and I thought I was tough Florida guy. So I actually went this day with my dog, and me and her were walking, and I had to, where I went into the woods, it was by a power line, and I had to run or walk about almost 3 miles back to where it was at. And because there's no easy way, you got to go around this river and creek to get into where it was at. So I'm back there with her, and she went off, and that was the day that I actually found those, what I call them beds, with the trees that were leaning over being propped up. And I came out from there and walked down this little, like, look at a little four-wheeler road, and I found some footprints, legit footprints. And they were probably about 12, 13 inches, but about 5 or 6 wide. And I actually made a cast of one of them, and then I kept continuing down the trail, and I found more. And then I found what were 2 19-inch footprints. They were massive. And it had rained probably 2 or 3 days before. And this massive 19-inch footprints by 9.5 wide. And the mud was 2 inches thick around the sides from where it was at. And I don't know the stride. I didn't get it. I was still learning at the time. But I stopped right there. And that was the first time that I was like, man, I don't have a great feeling about this. I was like, that's huge, whatever made that. And so I'm going to take my pictures. I'll come back with a buddy. Then we can go back in there and check it out more. And I'm sitting there taking the pictures with my dog is, she's looking around, smelling. And I'm taking my pictures. And just about the time I got done, my dog is just sitting there staring at the trees. And I'm like, and she starts doing this little tiny low rumble growl. And I'm like, oh, boy. And that gut feeling I had was spot on. Because whatever made those footprints was about 40 yards away, 30 yards away. The bush line was about 10 to 12 feet tall. You couldn't really see into it, but it was so thick. But you could see 3 or 4 trees that were just standing up above it. And the trees were very tall and about, decent sized trees. And I heard what sounded like, to me, I thought it sounded like a stomp. Boom! And like it shook. And like my dog jumped up, her hair stood up, and she even stopped growling, just staring at the woods. And then followed by this growl. And then one of the trees went over, and it went this way again. And then and then it just went, and the whole tree went over. And then it let out this freaking yell. And when it let out this yell, my dog tried to hang herself trying to get away. It's like she wanted no part of it. She wanted to leave. And she ran and hung herself on the leash. And I yelled back, "I'm sorry, I'm leaving." I literally called my friend because I knew I was 3 miles away. And whatever that was going to get me easy. And I'm trying to leave. I called my friend. I'm like, "Dude, I'm back here where I told you I was going to go. And something is back here shaking trees at me." He's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm a little scared. I'm not going to lie." It was the first time I've been like actually terrified. And we went back later in that same spot where it happened. Me and Marie went back in there and we found a deer carcass right next to a tree that had been tipped over in that same spot. I think it was the same exact tree that got pushed over and it ended up using it as maybe a little bedding area afterwards or something. There was a deer carcass right there. No skin, no meat on it. Not one, I think just the feet and neck were broken on it. But nothing, there was nothing scattered anywhere. And that's rare in Florida. So that means whatever that was bad enough that nothing wanted to mess with it. No scavengers. And it was right where that tree got shaken.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun.
It terrified me, but at the same time, I realized what happened. And since then, I've never had another problem since that one. And I had one before that where I got followed out of the woods. And both times I was in full camo, being quiet as I could be. And I stopped doing that. And I spent about 2 years in one of our research groups just in there all the time. And it was a totally different vibe. And I got to where I felt like I'm not going to tell you I was welcomed in there, but me and my son would go in there and it was like he was communicating and vocalizing with something a lot. And then Marie and Ruby and the rest of they started going there so much too that they wouldn't do what they would do with me and my son were in there, but we would find stuff every single time we went in there. And there was nothing ever negative ever. We've never had a negative problem in there ever. We've had gifting given to us. We've had cool gifts given to us at our gifting area. Such a cool area. But I will never go in full camo again, walking through woods, being stealthy, trying to look for these things. Ever.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, it makes sense. What kind of gifts have you guys gotten?
Chicken egg.
Ooh, that's
from a chicken coop 150 yards away.
Now, Jeff, you can find that picture.
Yeah, that is in there.
A chicken egg? Yeah, it's
here. On the,
right at our gifting spot. We gifted there for I don't even know how many months, Marie. We've been for years. We've been gifting there for years now.
Oh, like 3 years or something like that. But it's
tore up right now.
Well, what do they do? Okay, so you leave stuff out. What kind of stuff do you leave out, and what happens to it?
Teddy bear, golf balls, rocks, marbles, crystals, peanut butter, and Reese's peanut butter cups.
That's their favorite.
That seems to be their favorites.
So what happens to like the golf balls? Do they disappear? Do they
the golf balls. Now we put out like 3 golf balls. I think it was 2 or 3. We put them up next to the gifting tree area. And next time we go out there, they're gone. So we're like, okay, where are these golf balls at? So we're walking around looking. And they've been pressed in the ground, almost buried, like something stepped on it and shoved it in the ground, where you have to like pry it, pop it out of the ground. How does that happen? What did that?
So this Reese's I see it looks like it's got a hair on it.
Yes,
it does.
Did you guys collect that?
Mm-hmm. We did, and gave it to a friend of ours who looked at it and said that it looked like a good hair because it was actually more transparent under the light. Like it didn't look like it does right there.
Yeah, it looks kind of legit. It looks thin.
It's long,
wavy, long. It looks tapered. The end looks tapered.
What you can't see right there was that day I walked in there with my son and his best friend, and they wanted to walk back there and check it out. And we had just put the treats out on our last time we were out there. So we walked back and we found, I said, I didn't see any of the treats there. I said, all right, cool, they got them. I look over and about, 75 feet away from where the gifting spot is, there's 2 wrappers on the ground. And then right in the middle of the 2 wrappers that were torn open one of them had that hair, and there was a footprint right in the middle, and it was the same footprint from the one I have a footprint casting of. It's the same guy. I know it is because he does the same type of goofy footprint all the time. He leaves one big toe. He has like no little toes and one big toe in his footprint.
And they kind of clean up after. They kind of like collect the wrappers and things and pile them up for us. But Jeff, did you find the chicken egg?
I'm not seeing that one.
It's me. I'm wearing a pink shirt, a pink camo shirt. And the cypress knee is right in front of me. I'm squatted down. So look for the shirt, like a reddish shirt that I'm wearing. You'll see it.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Yep, I see it.
Yeah, and I'll show that picture. So
Give me 1 second here.
And that chicken coop's about 150 yards away.
Yeah.
And at that chicken coop, we found about 20 eggs one time on the other side of this fence that were in one spot, like something was handing them over the fence to each other, and they were eating them right there.
So that cypress knee is about 2 feet tall, and this is right by our gifting area. So something carried an eggshell over 100 yards away?
At least 100, 150 yards.
Yeah, 100, yeah. And mounted it on top of a cypress knee right at our gifting area.
Fascinating.
We've also had we've had little tiny teepee structure things made at the gifting area.
An X. A little X. An X.
All kinds of weird
tiny
little things.
X was left right in our gifting area. We find glyphs on the ground, like sticks are shoved in the ground, 8 to 10 feet long, shoved in the ground at about a 30-degree angle, and they're all pointing the same direction. There was 2, then there was 3, and it looked like there was a 4th one, and then, the swamp filled up and they all kind of, went away. But we'll find sticks laid down on the ground like glyphs.
Yeah.
We found a stick that was twisted, broken in half, and laid up against a log right by our gifting area. But Mike, you want to talk about the teddy bear?
I just saw they just made a comment. I have heard they don't like stuffed animals or anything with eyes in it. We put a little bear out there, this little tiny little cute little bear. There he is. And I put him out there, and every time for the last year that I've been coming back, if I put him upright, I come back, he's face down every single time. One time, the first time was the weirdest one though. Go ahead, Marie.
But he's moved because we shove it in a nook of the cypress tree. We will slam it tight in there. We'll put a peanut butter cup with it, Reese's peanut butter cup. And it's always facing out. And every time we would go out there, it would be moved and face down. I don't know if I sleep it out or something, but it always takes it out and puts it face down on the ground.
So does the teddy bear have eyes? Are they putting it face down to hide the eyes?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That could be. That's interesting.
The tags were ripped off.
Yes, the tag, like that picture there. The tag was ripped off the stuffed animal, and then the tag was ripped in half. Do you know how hard it is to try and rip off a tag on a stuffed animal?
Yeah.
And it ripped it off.
Interesting.
Hey, Marie, what about the fence back there?
Oh, yeah.
Where we put our cameras?
Yes. So we had 2 trail cams, one on each corner of the property area. And, of course, we were trying to capture some, whatever it is that's out there, gifting and stuff like that, we wanted to see. So we put out one on each corner. Well, the activity at our gifting area died. But what happened instead was in the middle, something bent and twisted galvanized steel fence posts and pushed down the fence. And now there's a nice wide, 3-foot wide trail.
Those pictures are on there.
It made that to avoid the trail cams.
Yeah. And now it's turned into another trail. I found a bunch of deer hair on the fence. So now the deer are using that too. It's like they completely avoided the entrances where the cameras were, and now they go through that entrance and they turn it into another game trail now.
But humans cannot take galvanized steel fence posts, twist them and bend them in half. And Jeff, there's 2 pictures of those.
Yeah,
And it's nowhere near where a vehicle could get into it.
No.
It was bushes all the way around everywhere where it happened.
No, you can't drive in there.
What it is we go into it's a preserve, and it's a protected preserve, but you have basically a fence that goes around it. That's about maybe 2 acres, and it's owned by the county, and you're allowed to go back behind where we go. So we go back in, but that county property nobody can go into. But there's probably 15 feet of wood of thick, tall grass going out and weeds all the way around that fence line, so you can't even see the fence.
Yep, there's.
So this is metal.
Yes, it's galvanized steel.
The barbed wire's been ripped down across the whole entire fence.
Right, but it looks like it wanted to move because that's the barbed wire portion of the fence. So it looked like it bent and tried to twist the barbed wire out of the way, and then it pushed down the fence and made the new trail.
Wow.
And there's 2 of those. Is there another
photo, Jeff? Should be.
Yep, there's 2 here.
Oh,
Yep.
And that's okay. Same one. Just
You'll be able
wire.
to see what I'm talking about.
Different.
How tall that grass is behind it.
Oh, it's a different
There's
post.
a different one.
Yeah, there's 2 different posts.
There's 2 of them.
Jeez. Look at the twisting on that.
Yes. Humans can't do that.
No, I tried to.
Well,
straighten
I
it out.
can. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, you can.
No. Joke.
Yeah. That's incredible, right? It's twisted.
that really is.
The fence looked like it was sat on by something that weighed 500 pounds. Is what it looked like. The actual bar on the fence, it looked like something just sat on it. And a big old horseshoe dip in it.
And there's no trees that fell on it or anything.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Well, there you go. It takes some strength to do that. How
kidding.
How thick is that metal? Do you even? Is it?
Well, just fence posts. It's
chain link fence.
Post.
It's chain link fence with a galvanized, 2-inch pipe, and then on top of it were those risers with the barbed wire going across. They bent the barbed wire down and then stepped on something. The whole thing's down to the floor now, and that's where the deer are and everything's running through now, right through that spot, and that's dead center in between both cameras.
Yeah.
You guys should probably try one of these garbage bag drags where you charge it up with static electricity by rubbing on a cloth, and then dragging a garbage bag, one of those construction, the black kind, and dragging it. You may have a whole bunch of hair start clinging to that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Bag
that is a really neat.
Do you have to do anything special with the bag first?
No, just charge it up with static. Just get any kind of cloth, it doesn't matter really what kind of cloth, and just rub it all over the bag, and then drag that bag slowly over those areas. And when you find something like that, I guarantee you're going to have all sorts of hair clinging to it.
Yeah, we tried tape traps, but that didn't work very well.
No, I would do the static trick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you guys it looks like you're having repeat contact in certain areas that are they're going to over and over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For years now.
Yeah.
And
I bet you. I think you guys would be blown away with all that hair that's going to jump up on that bag.
We've learned so much from this area because I 100% think it's a family group. Yeah. I think it's a big family group. But in one area where it's kind of the swamp, it's like swamp, and there's like kind of a pass-through area. So one area, we went in there, the group, we did a trip in there one time. We found 7 different sizes. 7 different sizes back there. We made a cast of them, a couple of them, the bigger ones, and we ran out of casting material. Me and my son came back the next day to come just pick up the castings, and there was like 20 more footprints in there. where they had walked around and looked at what we were doing. So whatever's back there, they're not bothered by us. I think they're actually intrigued by us, and especially when my son's back there too.
Wow.
And they're almost playful. We've been out there at night.
And how old is your son, Mike?
He's 10.
Yeah, that's a perfect. So they're looking at him going, and both of you going, oh, you know, he's a family guy like us.
He's not your typical little guy either. He's out there at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning walking down black dirt roads with adults, and he's fine being like that.
Yeah.
Making
well,
noise.
I've had the most activity when I've had my kids with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you bring your kids with you.
Right.
There was one place I went to for 30 years, no activity. I brought my daughter up, bam, cabin got attacked.
Wow.
And we had wood knocks. I mean, it was just tons of activity, but it was because of the children that were there.
You know, you're talking about wood knocks, and in the Green Swamp, there's one particular area where we hear metallic knocks. We've heard that twice. Have you ever heard metallic knocks?
No, not metallic, but David Ellis, I no doubt has, because he's collecting a whole group of sounds that sound metallic.
Yes, we've heard it twice.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to probably either talk to David. Are you guys doing the recorders everywhere you go? The audio recorders?
We can't
tried.
We can't in this area because of it's where the flight zone, where the planes.
Oh,
so we get nothing but planes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've tried.
Which is, people always think these things need to be in total wilderness.
No.
They just need to be where the food is. And
Absolutely.
The food is on the edges. And so if there's a lot of good edges, that's where the game's going to be. You know, I would imagine it's an edge area that you guys are working.
Oh, yeah. There's houses not too far away. They're going through probably looking for food, people's garbage, food laying around, you know. Humans are messy, right?
Yep.
So.
Well, that's like some of our friends, some of the Miccosukee Indians that are friends of ours down in the Everglades. They were telling us some stories about there's places that they still come up behind there every night and raid their dumpsters, raid the dumpsters, these little stores that are hidden back there in the swamps. You know, like that's pretty cool to know too. That something's coming up there every time. I'm like, we gotta make that trip happen one day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the ideas for you guys are coming in like a just like rapid.
There's so many things that we can do. There's not enough time,
There's a lot we've tried too that we're not even telling you. We've done so much. Going back there, like I've learned so much from that area, especially here. I am 100% convinced that these things, you walk in there to a new area and you hear barred owls going off in the middle of the day that aren't barred owls. You know, it's not like,
yeah,
it's
right.
More like, it's more, and then
like a dude doing it.
Out in the distance, way out in the distance, you hear, and then another, it's always 3. And you hear it twice, and then it stops. And you come into the area, and it's dead silent. They're there. They're watching you, and you know what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's always like that. But the more you go into that area, they stop doing it was like they recognized who we were and who's coming in, and they stopped doing that. But you go out in the woods, I don't go out and make yells and screams. I go out and I mimic what I've heard. And I go out and I'll go, first thing I do when I walk into the woods, I just let them know that little tiny noise, and I'll usually hear something come back, or I've heard tree knocks, but I'm convinced back there it's not tree knocks. I think is what I think is what I'm thinking you're hearing, something with their mouth. But
I agree
you get
with
back
that.
there, you get back there, and it's like it's so cool to hear the different sound. It's not angry, upsetting sounds. It's soothing sounds we hear. You know, it's really cool.
So, yeah, I've had my team now for 5 years, and we are out in the woods, swamps every single weekend, and we have for 5 years. So we do a lot of research. That's why we have found so many things. When you're out there that often, you know, we're very dedicated. So
it sounds
like.
Have
you guys heard much? Have you guys heard a lot of or any of the human gibberish type vocalizations?
Yeah,
you do that too.
I've heard it in the Everglades.
Me and my son did back in another part of that area. We were walking back, and it sounded like 3 or 4 Japanese people talking to each other. It was just weirdest sound. I would walk out here. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What was that? And it was weird. And I know that the area where we heard it coming from, there's nothing for like 3 miles straight ahead. It's just swamp. So whatever, then it's all, I mean, swamp. Like, so nothing was out there, but that's where it was coming from. And it was weird. It was a really weird sound.
What do you think that is? What do you have any theories as to what that is?
Maybe mumbling to each other. I don't know. Like, hey.
Yeah, we think it's the skunk apes or Bigfoots. You know.
The reason I'm asking is my theory is, I think what's plausible to me is that they're just mimicking what they think are human sounds. I'm sure they don't understand speech, but
true.
they understand what humans sound like.
Mm-hmm.
They imitate, if they're going to imitate owls, for communicating between themselves, imitating owls, I mean, if they're going to imitate humans' sounds, it makes perfect sense that it would be just sound like gibberish to us because they don't know what the words are.
A couple times I've been out in the green swamp and we've heard hey. We've heard the word hey being said to us. And Ruby was with me once. I think I've heard it twice. Once was in Mayaca. One was in Mayaca and one was in the green swamp. We just hear hey. It's like, what? There's nobody around. What the heck? But that's a pretty common thing. A lot of people hear that.
Well, even the natives talk about the forest people whispering syllables.
Right.
They called it syllable whispering. The natives often talked about being by a campfire and they're talking, and they would hear the same conversation happening behind them.
Right.
But only in symbols, or syllables.
Right.
Kind of like what you heard. So you almost heard like the samurai stuff.
Yeah, it was weird. But it wasn't super loud. It was just like growling grumble. And my son was like, what was that? I'm like, you heard that? And he's like, yeah. And it was a weird sound.
That's gotta be unsettling.
Yeah. Especially
another thing you said, Mike.
What's that?
Another thing you said, Mike, that I agree with. I don't think wood knocks are wood knocks. It seems much more likely to me that it's a sound they're making with their mouth, with their chest. I don't think they're walking around with a big heavy stick.
No.
Right? I mean, I think it's either hitting their chest or popping their mouth or something in their throat. That makes more sense to me. I mean, what I always say about it is it's a giant animal with a giant chest cavity, giant vocal cords. It's going to be able to make sounds that we just can't replicate.
Yeah, I know a couple people who can do very loud mouth pops.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I just think of something.
They can do it. Bigfoot can do it.
Yeah, with that kind of volume of air that they can move with those giant lungs, it just makes more sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So Caillou asks, have you ever had a battery like drain out or other strange stuff? A lot of people want to know. And
calling ex-boyfriends, right?
Well, this is the really strange thing.
Well, go ahead and just lay it on us.
This was in the green swamp. This happened 2 different times where I'm out with my team. I see an X structure and I walking up to it and I hear hello. And I'm like, what's this? And I pull out my phone out of my pocket. It's an ex-boyfriend called me at the moment I'm walking up to a X structure. I didn't call them. They said I called them. They're like, what do you want? I'm like, I didn't call you. Yeah, you did. No, I didn't.
Wow.
And so 2 different X structures, 2 different ex-boyfriends, and they were not stored in my phone.
That's interesting.
Weird, right?
That is weird.
That's weird.
Also awkward.
Yes, very awkward, very weird, but a cool thing. It's like, what the heck is this going on? And my phone is password protected. It's not like, the friction of me walking is making, my phone call somebody. No, it's password protected. I can't do crap, you know? So, weird.
That is weird. Yeah, okay. Any other awkward, strange things seen? Batteries drained? Anything, Mike?
I actually set a camera up one time right at I had 2 gifting areas before in the same area, and but one of the trees rotted away. And when I first started it in that area, I had 2, and at one of them, it was always getting stuff happening with it. And so I thought, all right, I'm gonna finally put a camera up and see what happens. So I put the camera up. I come back, and that day I had put out like a bag of Doritos, I put some weird things out there just to put feelers out and see what's going on. The Doritos were opened, 2 bags opened up, like torn, and I forgot what else I had there. It was gone. I'm like, yes, and I got it. You know, there's no way I missed it. I go back, the camera was working perfect. That thing was nothing, and it had like it like click 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 blank pictures.
I've had my trail cameras, I've had 3 of them get zapped where they were like nothing. They worked when I was there, but I get software errors or things like that.
Random texting, random numbers just texting up on your phone, like.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. So we've had EVPs. We've captured EVPs out in the swamp.
Like what?
One of them said my name. Things like down in the Everglades, we were filming something, and I was trying to say deer call, but at the moment, I couldn't think of the words properly. On the EVP, on the recorder, it says deer call. It said it before I said it. So we've had some really strange things, but you know, like I said, my name has been called out there, Marie. So weird.
Nice. Nothing like hearing your own name.
I know.
You got one thing on here that's kind of weird. I was going to ask you about.
Yep. Come on, bring it up. Let's
what is? Hold on 1 second here.
Just one weird thing.
What is this all about?
Oh yeah. So there's another picture right before that. It's an alligator print that we found. That is the back.
Pretty strange.
It's huge. Of an alligator, and it was found. The whole trackway was found between 2 canals. You know, like there was a canal, and it had to get out of the water, cross the road, the dirt, to get to the next canal. That was a huge print. There was a bunch of them, and Mike decided to cast them just for the heck of it. That's
massive,
the
man.
If you look really close at the cast, you can see the texture of the alligator hide in it. It's an amazing
good cast.
And you can see the claws.
That's a big one, man. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Everybody who sees it thinks it looks like a dragon's foot.
Yeah, that's why I asked him. Like that, it looked like that looks way too big to be an alligator. I'm trying to figure out what the heck that was.
It is an alligator. It is.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
From the Everglades.
Off a Terminal.
Yeah, there's a lot of good pictures. A lot of good pictures on your gallery here.
They get up to 22 feet, man.
Oh yeah.
They get big.
They are huge.
22 foot, man. Think about that. Woo.
Dinosaur. We've got some monsters back here in the areas that we go. Some absolute monsters. I got one I call George, and me and my son used to go back and fish in this spot all the time back in my old neighborhood. And that thing will come. He's about 13 and a half, 14 foot, and he's about 4 foot wide across his back. And he'll come sit below you and look up at you like, "Are you going to feed me?"
Yeah, that's crazy. So what about visuals? Seeing orbs or weird lights or...
Oh, yes.
Well, go ahead and spell it out.
Oh, God. This is
Marie.
Too hard. This is down south around Lake Okeechobee. 2 nights in a row, we saw orbs in this one area. And,
I didn't believe anything of that until that night.
Yeah. So the second one was Mike was with me. And we were out at night. We were sitting underneath a pavilion, at a campsite that was abandoned. So we have our night vision thermal cameras, and we're just all pointed, looking a different way. I got kind of bored. I had my thermal monocular with me. So I said, Mike, come on, let's go take a walk. So we just walked out in the field, and over to the right, we see this orb. And it's moving back and forth. And Mike is like, hey, there's somebody over there in the woods.
It was the exact color of a cell phone.
It looked like someone was searching for something, like a flashlight or something. And Mike's like, there's somebody over there. And I'm looking in my thermal. I'm like, no,
there's not.
There's nothing there. And he's like, no, there's got to be. And I gave him the thermal. I said, look yourself. There was nothing there that you could see in the thermal, but it was about the size of a baseball. And it just looked like he was searching for something. It just kept going back and forth, just like a human, like if there was a search party out there. And everybody had flashlights. That's exactly what it looked like. So that was the second night.
And it was just white. It was just a white light.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The same exact spot. I don't remember if the same night or not, but the same exact spot. There was like an area where some benches are out by like a camping area, and there was nobody else out there. And we actually had the entire place to ourselves. And we set it up that way. And there, I had little miniature Reese's, and I'm like, let's see if they like them out here, just joking around. And I put them out there in like in a little pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and one in the middle. Left it, came back the next day, they're gone, and in place of it is a mushroom. What?
Big mushroom.
Big mushroom. It was in place of the Reese's. The Reese's were gone, and there was a mushroom in place of them. Like, what?
Wow.
So you got a nice exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen gifts that are like combinations? Like a buddy of mine called me up and he goes, something keeps taking my suet ball out of our suet cage. And I said, send me some photos. I said, is it hard to get open? He goes, oh yeah, it's like really hard. But what would get left would be a clay ball with a feather stuck in the clay ball. So it'd be rolled up fresh mud clay.
Wow.
And then there'd be a feather left every time they would take the suet out of the suet feeder, which is, grease and birdseed.
Right.
Like bacon grease and birdseed. And then it would leave this, like a maid gift, it was more than one component to it. And I said, dude, you got Bigfoot's visiting you. And then I asked him, well, where's your cabin? And his cabin butted up to about a 500,000 acre state forest. And I said to him, and he was just in total shock. But then when it kept happening, he started to kind of think, oh, maybe there is such a thing. What else would come there at, middle of the night, take a suet thing and then leave a gift?
Right.
So that sense of fairness is quite interesting. So to take your Reese's and leave you a mushroom, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
I think that in the one most active area we go to, I think they gift us footprints. I truly do. I think they know that we like them. They don't understand why we like them, but I know that they watch us doing things with their footprints. And multiple times I've left treats and stuff come back, and there just be perfect footprint left. That, like, this came from a night that I left and came back, and the next day the better one was there.
Okay.
See, I was telling you there was the big toe. The guy with the big toe. It's like he lifts his toes up and it leaves.
Sure.
I found these footprints everywhere out there. And then one night I'll get a little closer. You can see them toes.
Yeah, look at the toes. That's not normal.
No. Those are pretty. Have you sent these to Meldrum? They're pretty damn good tracks.
I actually have. I do send him some stuff actually.
Has he seen those photos from?
Yeah, he saw them in person too.
Yeah, he saw those prints last year. Those casts when he was.
He was at our Florida conference and he came out and checked all our stuff out.
Because I know he was always hungry to see some good quality prints from Florida, some of the southern.
He was blown away that the similarity, maybe not the detail because we don't have the substrate they have up there everywhere else, But when
But
you
the
look
size.
at
That's one of the Hereford tracks?
That's the Gray Harbor.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
I'll give it
Dennis
to you.
Hereford Castles.
Gray Harbor.
and you
Grace
start,
Harbor, best tracks ever.
yeah.
I've never seen that one though. I've got one right here too.
So you take that. You think there's
either,
one.
Either you got huge hands. How big is that track you're holding? Those things are massive.
Almost 17.
It looks tiny in the video here that you're.
Yeah, it's almost 17. They're 16 and 3/4.
Why does that look so little?
Check this one out. Here's another one. This was found by a 9-year-old boy on our last camping trip.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
Nice broad. Yeah, I love the toes are in line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice broad heel.
And it was
wide
going
foot.
down.
Oh yeah.
It was going down it was crossing over a dirt road, and it was all sugar sand. And you could literally see how the toes, as it stepped with the left foot,
Like grabbed.
it grabbed
Again.
and stepped over, and it made a dent in the dirt, in the mud. There's the comparison I did of it. Of the
Jeez.
two. They
Yeah,
were
the
identical.
measurements are really close. That's amazing.
I cannot
Well
believe.
designed.
That's a really, really good track, guys. That's good. You guys are doing some really good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That Hereford track is massive. I cannot believe how little it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those prints are massive for real.
Are you sure you didn't get a shrunk down version?
No. No.
And you can see our 3D scans too. Like, well, I don't know where they're at. You probably could look them up on Scaniverse, but I have 3D scans and I did them like that so I could compare them to it, And then I sent that to Meldrum. I'm like, look at this, because he was
How
blown
big?
away.
Okay, how big is your track? Because that made the Hereford track look little.
They're 17.
How big is your track, guys?
That one was 16 and 3/4, and ours was 17. So it was a
Okay.
little bigger, but it was about a half inch wider was all.
That's deep and wide. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was in sugar sand though,
Yeah.
It's hard to get a good one in sugar sand.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the Jennings prints.
Yep, you can see his big toe up there on the right.
Yeah, I see how big it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I mean, good job. Footprints are the hardest thing to get. Period.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sugar
Harder
sand
than
is
hair.
terrible.
Harder than anything. Harder than handprints. Have you ever had handprints on your cars, or have you not even looked yet? Maybe you haven't even looked.
Well, we haven't had prints, but one of our team members down in Miami, in the same area with the orbs and stuff, they've had finger swipes on their cars, and their windows were slapped by a skunk ape while they were in the vehicles.
Mm.
So they've had two or three encounters of getting their vehicles swiped.
Is this from there, or is these
Yeah.
your?
That's them.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah,
looks like the
they
white.
even had some dermal prints on the windows and stuff. It was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Could you contact them, Marie and Mike, and get those photos to me? Because I'm
can
actually.
send
Oh yeah, we need.
There they
I
are.
need that.
I can send you the photos.
Yeah, I need that because we've got a forensic fingerprint expert looking at these now.
Oh, awesome.
And studying them. Somebody had asked about Legend Science too. Still shooting. We got a big shoot starting in February. Just finished one. So yeah, we're still shooting for LMS too. I'm not in a rush. So I'm taking my time because I don't have this network hanging over me going, it's got to be done on this date. And so every day that goes by, the doc just gets better. We have this huge camera project starting February 6th again. And this one is going to be really, really good in a really, really good area. I can't even talk about it yet. So anyhow, so for the person that asked about that, yeah, we're still shooting lots. So
good.
Anyhow, back to the handprints. Have you ever seen that yourself, Marie or Mike?
No.
The white crap on the kind of this white residue.
When my car got bumped, I checked my car because my car was brand new at the time. I only had it 3 weeks. And so I checked it thoroughly because I thought, okay, for sure there's something there. Nothing. I didn't find any grease, nothing, no print.
Well, I have a little more of a new, it's just a theory, but that they're getting this material from their armpits. They get a little agitated, they start producing all this white crap, and they're using it and they're smearing it on their body. They're doing different things. I don't think they always have that white sebum on their hands. I think otherwise it's probably pretty clean.
Yeah, those prints were greasy. They were greasy, and they didn't have a fingerprint kit with them. So they had to wait till they got home. So the drive home kind of smeared the oil, the grease on the car from driving home. But they were able to at least get some pictures. They didn't even think they had anything. And I told them, I said, I'm sure there's prints. I'm sure if something slaps your window, there's going to be fingerprints. And after they talked to me, the direction of the sun hit the window just right, and they saw the print. And they called me back and they said, yes, there are prints here.
Yeah.
And so then they were able to kind of lift what they could when they got home. So,
well, they always seem to leave prints, but I'm talking about this white, thick sebum.
I've never heard of that before.
They don't? Okay, well, they seem to leave these very white, waxy, hard to get off prints, and we've called it Sasquatch alba vernix, based on that white, waxy stuff babies are born with.
Right.
And we're studying that with the chemical compounds in it because they do leave that often. Other times they just leave regular, fingerprints, like a human, maybe a little more greasy. But I'm thinking this white extra crap that they splatter, and sometimes it's really thick, is stuff that's being extruded out of their armpits, out of their apocrine glands or something, because gorillas, zookeepers are just now noticing this stuff that's coming out of gorillas' armpits.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a smell at all to it, Doug?
Oh, I would imagine there is.
I'm sure there's got to be a scent gland there.
Yeah.
And humans, obviously,
It
it's
could
one
be
of the
like-
purposes is the
Yeah,
scent.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like leaving a fingerprint, really.
Yeah.
A scent fingerprint. Yeah.
I would think it's BO, right? So
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell it. I don't know. So, okay, they call these skunk apes. Have you guys ever gotten a whiff of the stink that I think that they don't? So I don't think they always stink. I think that's something they produce when they're PO'd or nervous.
well, if you think about our terrain, Florida, right? It's hot. It's hot, humid. They're hairy. We stink. We'll sweat and we'll smell. Doggone well, they're stinking and smelling just as much and more, obviously, because they're out in the swamps and the stinky mud or stinky water, So
I've smelled some areas where I thought something was dead and never found anything dead quite a few times. Like it had that dead rotten kind of smell. But what I've smelled a few times is just a really horribly strong wet dog odor. That kind of wet dog.
So, okay, you have
strong
smelled
odor.
the dead body kind of smell, though.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's them, yeah. And because I've gone through places like,
And it's just a whiff. It's just like
Yeah.
there and it's gone.
it's gone, yeah.
Mhm.
Or it'll be in an area where it wasn't 5 minutes earlier.
Right,
Yeah.
correct. Mhm.
It's very directional.
Yeah.
Because we've rode horses through. There's no smell. Come back 20 minutes later, and the whole area reeks like a dead, rotting corpse. And it's like, oh, what's that all about? And then you can only come to the conclusion that they don't always stink. That it's like any other animal. They're producing it upon being.
It could be part
pissed.
of the part of the swamps and whatever. It could be the part of the land they're going through too. Whatever. Certain swamps stink horribly.
Yeah,
with
sure.
methane
There's
gases and
Methane,
different things.
yep.
I've been walking it through, and you can see where something had maybe we startled it. It was one time it was really cool. We were walking, and it looked like we had startled something. And every time it made a step, there was methane gas floating up, so you could see the footprint of gas oils like coming up. Like these fluorescent hitting the sunlight little gases coming up in the shallow, inch thick water.
Yeah.
But you could see a foot track, or something had just walked through there. And every time it stepped, the gas came up.
Yeah, I would imagine that Florida is full of so much methane, the mud and all the limestone down there.
Yeah.
So
more than stinky, probably the weirdest thing that's happened when we're like that way is going out. And I say I go into these same areas. You got two trails I go into, and it doesn't matter which one. I've gone on both sides, and it's happened to me multiple times. Always when I'm by myself. Go walking in, walk the entire trail back. Don't see nothing, come walking out and find 3 or 4 footprints behind you. Wow. That is a creepy feeling, because it's like that guy followed me right in. It's like, that's pretty cool.
It's very interesting. Jeff, you got any cool questions? I haven't. I feel like I've just been bombarding you guys.
It's all good.
No, this has been a great conversation. I kind of think here.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think these things are? I mean, what have you come to any conclusions? Are you just open-minded? Don't know. What are they?
I think it's personal, a little personal opinion on it a little bit too. But I personally, I think from about Tampa up, and Marie, I know she does kind of similar. Tampa up seems to be more of a human, Bigfoot. more Bigfoot human, a more intelligent. Whatever it is more intelligent. Okay. And down south seems to be a little more primal, a little more primitive, whatever it's doing. It's not making as many structures, seems to be a little more aggressive, like not as intelligent,
Yeah.
How different is the habitat in those two areas?
Oh.
From Myakka south, it's crazy different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the Everglades, right? It's just like prairies and sawgrass, and it's just a lot more primitive down there. So like Mike was saying, we think that, Tampa is like the middle of the state, right? It's like the dividing line, right? So if you go south of Tampa, the reports are very different than reports north of Tampa. So the reports south of Tampa, starting at Myakka, down the Everglades, is more of a skunk ape creature, which is 5 to 7 feet tall, thin, less hair, reddish brown hair typically, and they have 4 toes instead of 5. Mm-hmm. That's what's typically found down there. And then Tampa heading north, it's the typical Bigfoot creature, 6 to 9 feet tall, reddish brown, bigger, it's the typical Bigfoot, but 5 toes instead of 4 toes. So the reports are very different in those areas. So we tend to believe that we do have 2 different types of creatures here. So
it sounds, I haven't heard you say anything about aggression or hostility. It seems like they're pretty peaceful to you. Are there stories of really aggressive or hostile encounters down there?
You always hear about, someone getting attacked or, killed or whatever. But I don't know. I think in Florida, because there's so much development, there's so many people around, I think they're just used to people being around versus being in the middle of Alaska, in the middle of nowhere, where they don't see people, and so they're very aggressive. I don't know. That's just a theory. We can only speculate.
That makes sense. Well, there's probably less competition for resources too. I mean, you have such an abundance of natural resources there, biological resources there. They don't really got to fight. They can just leave and.
Yeah, they love houses. There've been reports of them going through the back of people's houses, looking for garbage, looking for things to eat, or whatever. So they're more. I think in Florida, they're more used to humans being around. So, as long as you're not messing with them, doing something bad to them, I think they just leave you alone for the most
interesting.
part. I don't know. What do you think, Mike? You agree?
Well, I mean, I told you guys about one kind of bad kind of encounter I had with the tree that was definitely aggression.
But it wasn't an attack on you. He was just trying to get you out of there.
Right. And what's funny is I actually talked it's the first time I'd ever spoken with Meldrum. And I asked him about that, and he said, it sounds like that was a primal basically, strutting his stuff and letting you know, hey, do not come any farther. You've been warned. And he's like, I would obey him if I were you. I was like, I have no problem. That was the first time I'd ever had primal fear. That's a different fear. One other time I was in the area I grew up in, and you have to take 2 miles on a bicycle before you can get back to where you have to get off and walk about half. I was about 2.5 miles back. And I walked up on something. I was being quiet again. I walked up on something that didn't want me there. And when it stood up, I stepped over a couple trees that had been broken, crossing it was blocking it. And I got that bad feeling and I didn't obey it. I kept going. And I walked over it. And about that time, it sounded like a branch or a tree broke and fell into the palmettos. It's real loud when branches fall into the palmettos. And that was followed by a low rumble. And I never even got to look over at it. I just sat there hearing it. And I turned around and I'm like, I'm leaving. And I started walking out. I didn't want to run because I didn't know if it was a predator or what it was at first. Whatever it was followed me out. And I think there was more than one. And it followed me out and they started throwing sticks at me. You could hear them. And they were hitting the trees. And then a couple of them landed in front of me. And they did this I had a half a mile walk back to where my bike was. And I got back to it left. I got out to the main road. Everything was okay. I've never pedaled so fast in my life. But when I got back to my truck, my head started hurting. And I started like my head hurt like it had never hurt before. My ears hurt. And I ended up having a migraine for about 4 days. It felt like my ears were swollen. And what I think happened, I think I got zapped. I think I got hit with infrasound. And I think what got me was that the rumble was before the rumble. I heard, it was just kind of a low deal. I think I caught him off guard and he hit me with it. And it went it sounded like a big adult alligator almost. It gurgled. But I think the part before that is what got me because I felt it before it hit me. And then, like I said, 4 days with a migraine, my ears felt swollen. It was horrible. But I've never had bad experiences again since I've announced myself going into the woods now.
Are you typically armed when you go out in the woods or no?
I used to be more armed than I am now, to be honest. I used to. And honestly, I don't think they're going to hurt me. If they wanted to, they would have. They could have. They had plenty of chances to hurt me, my kids. I've gone back there with my kids. My daughter is 6, and I've gone back there with her before. And I wouldn't do that if I felt like there was any type of danger. And I would never take any of my children into a new area that I don't know that family group or whatever they are. But when I feel comfortable enough to go back there, it's like your nerves kind of, that feeling goes away when you're accepted back there and they're not minding like, hey, that's our buddy. He's bringing us some treats, Yeah. And that's what it feels like. But whatever's back there in that one spot, multiple times I've had some really, really bad aggressive feelings. I think Marie got one time. We went back there too, and we didn't get to go that far because we weren't on bikes that day. But it's just a different feel back there. It's like whatever's back there never is around people and doesn't want you there. Period.
But it's not, they don't attack us. They don't hurt us. They just don't want you there. So they're just probably going to try and scare you away.
Right. Intimidation.
Yeah, intimidation. Yeah. Sure. So, and I always say about Mike is, Mike is like the only one on the team who really gets hit by infrasound, And I always say that I think it's because they sense his testosterone, right?
Yeah, it's a good point, Marie.
So for them, he's the greatest threat out of all of us. So that's probably why he gets hit with infrasound and we don't.
I got hit real bad again. I apologize.
Actually, I've never heard of a woman. I'm just trying to remember now that you bring this up. I've never had a woman report to me being zapped.
Yeah, not too many. I think I've heard it.
I've never heard it either.
That just hit me.
No, I haven't either.
Huh.
We were back in another area where Ruby took us, and I'm like, we're deciding which way to go, and I'm like, we need to go this way. Like I can feel it. Ever since I got zapped, I can feel it more. It's really weird. I don't have an explanation for it, but since that day, now I can go in there and I can tell you, I feel like a beacon, like beep, 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 like it's pointing. I'm feeling it where it's at. And I followed it, and we went back to this one real thick palmetto area, and it was like a force field of energy there. I could not go any farther. And it hit me, and 2 minutes later, I was on the ground. I was throwing up. I was sick. I had to leave that. I ended up going back to the truck, sitting in the AC, and it was a bad sickness.
and the rest of us were fine.
Yeah, everybody fine, but me.
By him.
Marie, have you noticed any other observations about the difference between being out with a mixed group or versus women only? Any other interesting observations about that?
No.
Nothing really?
No. Nothing. I don't think they're threatened by us. I mean, I've heard something walk next to me in the Ocala National Forest during the daytime through the trees, but didn't see anything, but they didn't do anything either. I don't know what it was, but there was something big bipedal walking next to me. So.
And Mike, you need to start drinking soy milk.
Because he's a manly man, right? He just oozes testosterone as well.
You know, I just thought about something, Marie. We didn't tell them when they were talking about finger drags and stuff. What about the casting?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. So Mike took what was it? A cast of what? You thought it was toes?
I think it may have been a small alligator footprint.
Okay.
I don't know. It was a cool looking footprint.
Yeah. So he poured plaster, right, in this. He wanted to cast this print thing.
And I was by myself that day.
And yeah, he goes, because it has to dry 45 minutes to an hour. He has to wait. So he goes out and he comes back to the cast and he looks down at it. And on top of the cast are finger drags.
Huge.
Like big, fat fingers. There's a picture of it, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm looking
On
here.
the website.
I've got the cast. It's in another room, but
yeah, it's a small cast, but that's the best part is the actual finger. It's like something came along and was like, "Ooh, what's this white stuff?" To see what this white stuff was.
And I was creeped out that day. I had heard some weird noises. I heard something that sounded like it ran by me. Like I heard the wind, like I was a little creeped out that day. And after I came back and I saw those drags, there was more than one size on there too. To me, it's like a family or something. A little group walked by and was like, "What is that? What's he doing?" Tested it. They all wanted to see what it was and what it felt like.
Yeah.
There's a fingerprint on one of them. We found a hair out of it. We got a fingerprint out of it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was definitely different.
So very unique that a cast, the most interesting part of the cast was on top of
on top
and not underneath.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm
There's
not
a
seeing
picture. It's
it.
white. It looks white. It's just a cast.
Kim Kincaid asks, have you guys had any mind speak or any kind of telepathic, seemed like telepathic stuff?
I have with animals. I haven't with a Bigfoot, but Mike, I think, has. You have, Mike.
Ever since I got zapped, this is what makes it even weirder. And like, I'm not into the whole woo woo thing, and I don't know about it. I don't have too many answers about it, but I can only tell you what's happened to me.
Yes.
And I started getting dreams, and the dreams were the most vivid dreams I've ever had in my life. One of the dreams led me to the area that we've had all this happen at. Like, directly led me to that spot. And it was weird. I went on Google Earth, found the spot by a dream I was having, and I found it and went to it at this spot. It was weird. I don't understand.
Is this the picture you're talking about?
Yep,
Looks like
that's
it.
it. Yep, that's it. So those are two finger drags, or they put their fingers there, but they're bigger than our fingers.
Twice the size of my finger, and I've got pretty fat fingers, and it twice the size of my fingers.
Yeah, and we all know, Mike, that your hands are giant because I got that cast and you made it look like a toy.
Well, when I saw that and I put my fingers like out kind of above it, I'm like, holy crap. When I realized what it was, I'm like, that's a fingerprint. Those are fingerprints. And they're huge. They're massive.
Yeah, there's two. Maybe a third one. And there's a little tiny indentation of other fingerprints.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any evidence of dermal ridges, actual fingerprints in that in that cast?
Yeah, there's one where it poked. One of the little prints is like a finger poke, and you can see little tiny.
You can see the ridges.
Not very big. It's not small.
Yeah.
It's just like it just barely touched it.
wouldn't mind seeing a really close-up photo of that,
Okay.
showing any dermal ridges.
Sure.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think actually if you zoom in on that picture, you can actually see them better.
Wow.
Yeah. I've got the cast in the other room. I can get it if you guys want to go grab it.
Yeah, go grab it.
Give me just a second. I'll come right back. All right.
Go grab it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's all good.
That's a cool. It's a cool flag. Right
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think they are, Marie? I mean, do you think they're more human-like, more towards human?
I think the Bigfoots are.
Yeah.
They're more
Well, that's what we're talking about.
wild man. No, but we're also talking skunk apes, right?
Well, same thing, I guess.
No.
Bigfoot. They're not. Okay.
No, we think that the skunk apes are more ape-like.
Okay.
More
I got you.
that kind of ape.
Okay. So the ones you're dealing with, do you feel in general that these creatures are very human-like?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you still
y'all can
can't
see
see,
that,
it very good. Put your finger in the Mike. Put your finger in where the fingers are, so they can see it.
All right. Just go slow, closer.
There's my finger.
Put both fingers down in the.
There.
Yeah, they're pretty wide compared to yours.
And
And
there's
Mike's fingers are an inch and a half wide.
That little one.
You see that little dimple? Look at that little dimple.
That's the one that has the ridges. That little dimple.
Oh wow.
Oops, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you get a
what-
close up? Can you get a close up of that and the cast and get it to me? Mike?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I sure can.
If you can light it so I can see those dermal ridges.
Yes.
And there was a transparent hair that we found out of this too.
Oh, really?
Yep, there was a transparent hair. One of our friends took it and put it under a microscope and looked at it, and he's like, "It looks legit."
Yeah, it has no medulla.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the cast was. It was like an alligator print or something funky. And I came back and I said, and that was there. It ended up being the coolest one. It was something so unexpected, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so weird. That's really cool. Very
Yeah, we can
interesting.
get you. We'll get you a good close up of it.
Yeah.
I'll actually give you. I'll 3D scan it and send it to you. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be cool. But I'd still like to see a good,
Just
Yeah.
with like an LED flashlight lighting up that dermal ridges, because we've got somebody that's really into this and looking. We're looking for differences between human
Right.
and these creatures.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
we're looking for some magic thing, and maybe we've already seen something. He called me up, kind of excited on a feature that was seen on prints that were thousands of miles away that he's never seen in human. So there may be some things we're honing in on. So
Right.
dude, you guys got some great fans out there, man. They're
Oh man, our audience is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, they are.
they're awesome.
Our chat group is spectacular. It's
For real, like
it's-
it's been nonstop.
Yeah.
Like I was like, wow, that's really cool.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
I
they're
wish we could
really
answer them all.
intelligent and yeah,
yeah, we've got some
very
really,
intelligent people with good comments and good questions. It's a great community.
yeah. It's just one guy. It's just one person, and
It's an AI bot.
they just have a bunch of aliases. Yeah, it's one guy. We pay him.
I knew it. I knew it.
So, do you guys ever make your way down to Florida anymore?
Absolutely.
All right.
Well,
Well,
Are you
Let us know, Doug.
so you're going to come to the next Florida conference, right?
yeah, where's that held?
Ocala.
Ocala.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'd
At
love
the
to come
World-
down. That'd be
The
great.
World Equestrian
it's one of my
Center.
favorite areas.
Every year it's gotten bigger. From 1,500 people up to what? How many now? 2,500?
No, it's around 1,500.
That's a good turnout.
It's April 5th.
Jason,
No.
he's watching. I'm supposed to tell you guys.
Jason is watching.
Do you know Jason?
Which Jason?
The Squatch medic. He's up in Canada, or no, northern Washington State.
That's Jason.
Oh, it's a Jason. Oh, it's
B.
a
Miller.
Jason Miller?
Jason.
Oh my God. He's
Jason B.
wonderful.
Miller.
Great
awesome,
researcher. Great researcher. Good friend of ours. We met him in June when we were up there at the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When we were speaking there. So great guy, great researcher.
What a cool area that was. That was like a trip of a lifetime getting to go up there.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And we found some footprints.
Oh yeah, we found stuff there. We found prints.
So have you guys ever like traveled into Canada and done research in other areas?
Well, Washington and Utah. I've done in Utah. So I found a print in Utah. I found structures like teepee structures and stuff there too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think they'll let Mike on a plane. He's too big.
I'm not that big. I'm 5'11", 200 pounds.
I'm just giving you crap.
It's the hat.
It was that damn print. When he held up that print, I'm like, this man's a giant.
I did construction my whole life, so you get them like construction hands.
Oh my God! You made that Hereford track look like a toy.
He's manly.
I can't even barely lift the damn thing. And he's like, oh, there it is.
He's a manly man, Doug.
God, yeah. It was like, it looked like he was holding a biscuit. I'm just like, what the hell? So, okay. Let's just open it up to our audience real quick for any last questions. I think we're kind of running a little late, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. If anybody has any last minute questions because of things that we have missed, even though I feel like we've bombarded you guys with questions.
No, I've had a blast.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Here you can see how big he is. I just put this up because it's a really nice picture. Of
oh, there we go.
There you can see it for scale how big he is. But
he's a manly man.
That was us looking out. That was our front window view where we were staying.
At Medellin Falls. And somebody photoshopped the Bigfoot in the background.
Sure.
I see that.
Love it.
Very realistic. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a nice picture.
Yes. Thank you.
Somebody wrote, touchscreens do not like construction hands.
No, they don't. I constantly tell this to everybody. I'm like, I have to use talk to text because I start trying to poke, it doesn't work. So, and then I also realized that it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have to talk like you are more of a business preppier type of person. Yeah. It doesn't understand a Southern drawl.
Got to enunciate.
Yeah. See, yeah. I send things to people all the time. They're like, what? I have to read back and read. Oh, man.
Can you guys see the questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys can just start. I'm just going to shut up. Just start answering them. I'll put them up. You answer them.
So, yes, the something walking next to us during the daytime in the Ocala National Forest in an area where there weren't that many trees, and I can hear something walking next to us. And so, yeah, that would be what I would consider cloaking activity because we could hear it, couldn't see anything, nothing. And everybody I was with heard it also.
I have a lot of classic blurry pictures from my videos. I used to video a lot, and I started recording from behind me. And I would go out there, and when I first started, like I said, before I first was going, I was all the time by myself. And I started getting more and more. I started hearing and noticing things, and I'd be followed. I knew I was being followed. I never could see anything. I'd be videoing, filming, never see anything. So I started recording behind me, but acting like I was filming in front of me. And when I started doing that, I started getting things behind me. I got things peeking out. They're blurry. You can't see it, but something was there. It was following me. It was watching me. Multiple ones. I've got things going in the back of my back of the videos. It's cool, but it doesn't do much, especially scientifically,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I was bum rushed once. I was with 4 other people. We all ran because we thought an elephant was right on top of us.
Wow. Right.
I mean, the ground was shaking. You could hear all that, the sound of the grass. I mean, everything. This thing was bum rush. There was nothing seen.
Right.
We felt like idiots. We all ran 100 yards, and then we realized there wasn't anything there.
Exactly.
But what did we all hear? What did we all sense?
Mm-hmm.
The danger we sensed was
real.
For me to run and leave my girlfriend behind.
Primal fear is real.
It's real. I'm joking, but maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember. Actually, I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure I was the last one in line. No, it was scary. We just all ran instantly, all of us. So I don't know. Who knows? Somebody mentioned juvenile prints. Anything small?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough because you have kids that walk around barefoot and stuff like that. So that's always a tough one to deal with, to figure out. What do you think, Mike?
I found prints that were 4 and 6 inches long, but I found one that was 6 inches long, but like almost 4 inches wide.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty wild print. It's like, there's no way. I found some little prints that are really heavy. Like, for the size of the print versus how deep I stand on it, 210, I can't make an impression, and whatever stood there made a half-inch or an inch deep impression.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Very likely that's a juvenile. See here. Somebody asked, what are the maybe key differences between Bigfoot and skunk apes?
I kind of already answered that with the size. The size.
Do it again. We're kind of dense. Do it again.
So, like I said, in Florida, middle of the state, anything Tampa and north is the typical Bigfoots. 6 to 9 feet tall, big, hairy, usually reddish brown in color, 5 toes instead of 4. And then south of Tampa, starting around Mayaca, all the way down to the Everglades, it's the typical skunk ape, which is 5 to 7 feet tall, much thinner, lean, less hair, 4 toes instead of 5 toes.
Is that what David Shealy has come to the conclusion to?
Yes. And we did a research study. He had his famous video of the skunk ape running. That's the one that's on the Smithsonian Magazine channel on YouTube. That's the famous one of it running through the grass. And so we were 21 years later, we were the first research team to actually go out and try to debunk it.
Because of the location and where it's at. Everybody thinks it's just a field that this thing was running through. It's not a field. It's the freaking Everglades, and it's 6 foot tall sawgrass and 2 feet of water.
Yeah, it's water. So it happened on July 8th or 9th of the year 2000, I think it was. So there's lots of water. There's at least 1.5, 2 feet of water in the Everglades, and especially this area in the sawgrass. And so that's when the skunk ape was filmed. But we tried to do the reenactment in February and March during the dry season, and we couldn't do it. So people think it's a guy in a suit just running through the dirt, the grass, right? No. At the time, based upon the temperature, the humidity, it was at least 109.5 degrees there at the time. I did research on the internet to find out, the temperature, the water depth, sunset, timing, blah, 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 blah. So we tried to do it in the wintertime, because that's the only time we could really get back in there. And Mike and Chris went out there for the first reenactment. David took us out to the spot, and we tried to reenact the path that the skunk ape did, running through the grass. Mike and Chris couldn't do it, right?
It was the most difficult terrain to traverse I've ever been in my life.
I can believe that.
You get out there, and you're thinking, he's like, it's out here about a mile. It's like, a mile out there feels like 3 miles when you're walking. You can't. It's such a weird. It's like a giant prairie, but it's a foot deep water. You have sawgrass that is dead, bunched up a foot tall, and then it's 6 foot tall. So whatever it was sticking where its belly button, basically from its waist up, was out of the grass. I'm out there, and all you can see is my hat bobbing around. And we have the full
research study
is on YouTube.
on our YouTube channel. It's like a 20-minute video. And then, so Mike and Chris couldn't do it in February. So we went back a second time, and I brought a trail runner. His name's Thomas Brandon. He does trail running all throughout Florida. He's a marathon runner. So I brought him out there because I wanted to see, okay, can Thomas do this? He's very experienced running out, just in the open. He couldn't do it either. He couldn't move his feet through the sawgrass to effectively run through it.
Right.
So, and this is the dry season. This is not even in water, So twice we tried it. We couldn't do it at all.
Well, good. Well, it's good to hear it. Yeah. And all you have to do is go to your YouTube channel, which is
Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group on YouTube.
Simple.
And you'll see the David Shealy research study that we did, where we interviewed David. He took us out there. We did the reenactments. I show the data collection that I did, and we just come up with our own observations, because it's not bobbing as it's running, it's gliding, right? It looks like it has, the crest, right? The central crest, the pointed head. Just the speed it's going through the water.
And it never looks down. Watch the video.
And it never looks down. And
you
out
can't
there,
walk out there and never walk across the Everglades without looking down.
Yeah, there's schools, there's gators, there's sharks, there's all kinds of things out there.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be snakes and
This thing never stops.
Sawgrass alone will cut the hell out of you.
So when these guys, Mike and Thomas were going through the grass, they're looking for where they can take the next step. The skunk ape in the video is just running straight, absolutely straight. It's not even looking down. It's on a mission. It's just going. While we are like looking around, okay, I'm going to step over here now because it's flatter and there's less grass here and there's less water. There's no way that was a person in a costume running through water when it's over 100 degrees.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I sort of did in Legend Meets Science. I hired an Olympic sprinter to run this mountainside, to see how he would do. And it's a good way to do it.
Yes.
Somebody asked about colors of these things. What's the most common color down there? And do you have black ones in Florida, do you think?
Black and grayish colors too, yeah.
Reddish,
brown.
Cinnamon color are the most reported colors.
Okay,
but they're black. There's been whitish gray. There's a Bigfoot that's been reported 4 times outside of Tampa that's like a whitish, grayish color. And 2 of my group members saw it. So
I've got a couple of blurry pictures from back in my one area, and I'm actually convinced that the blurry pictures I have are of the one that leaves that funky toe print. And I think he's a kind of a whitish color with a black chest and a black face. I have a picture. It says blurry, but it looks like something's on all fours. And then the next frame going off the video, it's standing up. One frame, it's on the left side of the tree, and it's on all fours, kind of looking at me like a gorilla pose, And the next frame, it's on the other side of the tree, standing up, looking at me on the side of it. Like, pretty cool. But it's like black face, black chest, and then the rest of them is all white.
Somebody asked, I think it was Squatch Medic asked, where do you think they go during a hurricane?
So the last hurricane, Hurricane Milton, was that was in October. Right before the hurricane, there was sighting reports around Brooksville, Florida. Now, Brooksville, Florida is very hilly. It's high ground. So it probably got out of the swamps and headed for the higher ground during the hurricane.
Now, remember when you guys asked if they had any mind speak and things like that? I told you I've had some weird. So one of my dreams, ironically, goes with that question very well. One of my dreams was such a vivid dream that I woke up and it was like it really happened. But it was in that area, and these things were going in to abandoned aquifers. And they were traveling under Florida in some ways through these empty aquifer systems.
Which
And that
there
was
is.
the dream.
Can you explain how cavey and the limestone aquifers that Florida has? I mean, this is a labyrinth.
The entire state, basically.
Yeah,
And
a
actually,
labyrinth.
Thomas Brandon, he actually had a LiDAR scan that he found of Green Swamp. And we didn't know it's all cave systems out there. I didn't know that. The whole entire place is cave systems.
Mhm.
And who knows which ones have water in them and which ones don't, you know? But how perfect would that be? If you knew where these systems were, you can go underground basically and walk through a cave,
Yeah.
limestone cave system. They connect to everywhere.
It's incredible. I mean, Florida people have no idea that it's like putting your house on a sponge.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
you remember that home that sunk, the sinkhole?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
like
that's
a
right.
Florida sinkhole
Right.
That's
sometimes.
outside of Tampa. That's Land O'Lakes, and there was another one in Brandon. Yeah, it's all
That happened right around the corner from where I grew up. I grew up in Wesley Chapel, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then the karst gets, I mean, there's acid rain or whatever, just
Yep.
there's acid in the rain, and it just eats away at that karst, and it's just constantly changing and making more and changing. But yeah, you guys, if people could do a cross section, just take a knife and cut it and look at the cross section of Florida, it would scare the living hell out of everybody.
Oh yeah.
Because below their home, there
Yeah.
are caves below everybody's homes.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it's insane.
Oh,
And
yeah.
sometimes there's only an inch of rock between their home and the cave
That's insane.
their home is sitting on. And God
Yeah.
knows. Well, I get the chills thinking about it.
If
I
was in a
used to know the
hurricane-
sinkhole guy from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I used to talk to him all the time, and all the
Wow.
stories he would tell me.
That is insane. Yeah, I worked with a girl who lived in Land O'Lakes. The house that sank was 2 houses down from her.
Ugh.
So she had the threat of her house being taken down too, because the neighbors started to have problems and they had to move out because their house was probably going to go also in the sinkhole.
Do you think it's possible that these things are utilizing those kind of
Sure,
caves? It could.
absolutely.
I don't know. I've never been much of a Bigfoot cave guy in most states, but there are certain states like Florida. I'm thinking, yeah, they definitely
Florida's
could.
got a lot of secrets.
Because I'll guarantee you,
Yeah.
probably 1% of the cave openings in Florida have been found.
Yeah,
I agree.
1% of them.
I agree.
But you like a lot of these areas, like up here by Hernando County. But you're in the middle of a forest and all this crap, and all of a sudden a spring just pops up in the middle of nowhere. These little springs pop up. You can't traverse to where the spring's at hardly. You know, these things are popped up all over the place. So, you know.
Who knows? Who knows? So what other questions here? I'm looking here. Throw your questions before we wind up and let everybody go for our first show of 2025. Jeff, you got anything burning?
It's going to be a good
No,
year.
you guys, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah, it really has been. You guys have
Dude,
been
thank you
wonderful.
for having us on.
Yeah,
We love
thank
it.
you.
Oh,
It's been
absolutely.
wonderful.
Well, we'll have you guys on again.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we
You
get the
should.
whole
You know what? Let's
The
do
whole
this.
group on.
You got to get Dave Shealy on.
Yeah.
We'll do you,
Absolutely.
Mike, and Dave.
Oh yeah, he's our team, one of our team members.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's on my
Oh,
team.
Oh, that'd be great.
I've never
Dave,
met
Dave,
Dave.
Dave is awesome.
I've
Yeah.
known
We go down
about
there
Dave
every
since
month,
I was a
about once
little
month.
boy.
2 months, every 2 months.
I've known about Dave since I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah,
He-
he's our team, one of our team members.
Oh, wow.
He's one of the most interesting guys I've ever met. For sure.
I can only imagine. I've never
Yeah.
talked to him, but
there's not anybody I know that knows more about the Everglades than that guy. Like
Mhm.
it's really cool just to go out
Yeah.
there and sit with him and learn it and like and my
And it's
son.
not just the skunk ape; it's the Everglades, just the wildlife, and he grew up there. He knows everything there is about it. So
that'd be
okay, so
great.
I'm excited now. Okay, so Jeff, can you arrange Maria and Mike and Dave Shealy
Mhm.
come on. I'm thinking, what is it? January now, February. Got to give these guys a little spring research so they have some more stories. Let's
Well,
say
we got lots of stories.
So let's say 1st of May. Let's get these guys all on with Dave.
Perfect.
We were just down there a couple weeks ago. They started doing the what was it? The first ever alligator festival.
Florida Alligator Festival, and I actually came up with the idea.
Yeah, that's just it's cool to see the alligators make such a comeback.
Yeah, and we're trying to bring back alligator wrestling.
Yeah.
With the Seminoles and the Miccosukee, which is what that's always been their tradition. So we're
They
trying
are the
to
greatest guys you'll ever meet too.
Jeez.
Those alligator
Yeah,
wrestlers are the coolest guys you'll ever meet, man. They're all hearts of gold, all of them. They're such nice guys.
Are you guys fans of eating alligator?
I like it.
I've had it.
I love alligator. I think alligator tastes great.
It
I'm a
is,
big fan.
especially if it's done right. Like if it's been sitting in like buttermilk for a little while before it's been done, it's really good.
Yeah, I bet. I'm a fan. I like alligator too.
Yeah, alligator
Good stuff.
tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
I've eaten it a few times. I also had it one time canned alligator.
Oh,
Yeah.
That wasn't so
Yeah.
good. It was canned and it
Ew.
was like
Like spam?
it was boiled and canned.
Ew.
Good now.
no.
Gross.
That's not the way you
What are you
No.
thinking, Doug?
It was chewy. Say, hey, it's 10:04. Jeff, are you pressed? Do you wanna play these guys in trivia?
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's have it's our New Year's Eve show. Or New Year's Day, sorry. Do you guys have time for another 10 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
let's do this. We're gonna do trivia on wolves.
Okay.
All right. Let me get the picture
All right, these
here.
are on wolves, not necessarily timber wolves, but just wolves. All right, stand by here.
Oh, here we can play that.
It's Untold Trivia time. Let's now stump the big ragu.
So all you guys got to do is beat Jeff.
Oh, God.
That's all you have to do. You don't have to
Oh,
worry
it should
about
be that
beating
hard.
anybody, just Jeff. and anybody in chat can join in. Okay, so how many subspecies of wolves are there? Are there 21 or 40? 21 or 40 subspecies of wolves
In America or in the world?
in the world?
In the world?
Yeah,
I would
in the
say
world.
probably 40.
I'd probably say 42 if in the world.
Jeff?
Uh,
It's
Yeah,
21 or 40?
just to be different, I'll say 21. It's probably. I think.
No, you
Yeah,
don't
I'd
have,
say
you
21.
don't have to do that. Just what do you think's right, Jeff?
Probably 21. I don't think there's that many.
Okay, so just hang on here. I'm gonna tell you, Mike. I'm keeping score, man.
'Cause
So,
a lot of them
Jeff,
are hybrids. I
so-
think a lot of them are hybrids. So there's. I think 21 is probably a fair
No, there's
number.
40. So okay,
Okay.
so they got you on one. They both got a point. And you got 0.
Okay.
Okay. How old are female wolves when they begin to breed? Is it 48 months, or is it 22 months? How old does a wolf have to be before they begin to breed?
I would think 22.
22.
Okay, 22. Jeff,
Yep, 22. I agree.
Mike.
I'll just say 48.
Well, you don't have to be different. You guys can all like this game.
Well,
I hate that when
well,
everybody tries to be nice.
Maybe
Well,
it needs
pick
to be a more
different
mature.
one.
Maybe they have to be more.
Well, we're
mature,
nice
so-
people. I think pretty young. I think 22. I think pretty young.
I would think just going by how dogs are too. So I would say think 22.
Okay. All right. So let me get this thing on here. I got to get back. I had to get rid of that comment. I was blocking Mike's face. Okay. It is 22 months.
Woohoo.
So who got it right? Mike got it?
I did.
Well, I did.
All you got it right.
Mhm.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Between 2002 and 2020, what percentage of 489 wolf attacks, that's how many there have been, were caused by a rabbit attack opposed to a predatory attack? Is it 78% of those were or is it 42%? Were caused by rabies versus just.
I think 42, and I'm surprised it's that
42. I think it's 42.
42,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
42.
Everybody's
Saying
42.
I'm actually surprised it's that high. I thought it'd be lower.
You're all wrong. It's 78%.
Whoa, seriously?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
78% are rabid.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. And we don't have a lot in North America, but apparently other countries they don't have that. They have a lot of attacks.
Wow.
Okay. What months are considered to be the prime mating season for wolves? Is it May and June, or is it January and March?
I think it's May and June.
May and June for Marie. Mike?
I'm going to say February, March.
I say January, March.
Okay. It is January, March. So Jeff got it right and Mike got it right. So far, Mike, you're batting 100.
It's pretty short gestation, isn't it? They don't gestate that.
Well, we're
long.
going to get into that.
Ah.
What is the name of the offspring that is produced when wolves and coyotes interbreed? Is it the wolf yote or the coy wolf?
Coy wolf.
Yeah,
Coy
I
wolf.
think
Coy
Coy
wolf.
wolf.
Okay, y'all got it right. I won't write anything down. Well, I will. Okay, there we go. I guess I can ignore.
Going on your permanent records, keeping permanent track of it.
Yeah. Okay. How long is a female's wolf? How long are they pregnant on average? Is it 98 days or 63 days? How long does it take for a wolf to what do they call it, gestate?
I think 60, whatever you said.
63.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Or
with that
98.
too. 63.
Okay. Mike?
It's 2 months, basically. Yeah, I'll say that. I'm going to say the same. That's 2 months, basically.
63.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys all got it right.
Oops, he's muted.
Oh, are you mute? I'm not hearing you, Doug.
Oh,
I'm not muted.
There you
Oh.
are. Okay.
Yeah, you're
It was
fine.
clipping out.
Yeah.
Probably was my internet. Okay.
Could be.
Let's see here. How many predatory wolf attacks have there been between 2002 and 2020 that have killed humans? Is it 2 or is it 9? How many predatory attacks? How many humans have died?
I would say 9.
9 or 2? What say you, Jeff?
2.
2, and what say you, Mike?
I'm going to say 2, just because I feel like it's a trick question.
It's 9.
Woohoo!
I think
I'm back.
Jeff and Marie got it right. Mike finally lost one.
I think Mike's still in the lead, though, I'm guessing.
All right, here's a tricky one. How many miles can the average wolf swim at any given time? Is it 8 miles or 4 miles?
Swim?
Yep.
I
How
would
far
say
can they
4.
swim? 8 miles or 4 miles?
4 miles.
Okay. Marie says 4 miles. I'm going to get back into chat here. Jesus. Holy crap, there's been a lot of them since I last looked. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to ignore everybody in chat.
I wasn't looking either.
All right. We'll
I'm
come
gonna
back.
guess.
We'll come back on and answer questions anytime you want to have us.
Yeah, so 4 miles or 8 miles. A lot of people are saying 4.
I'll go 8. I think they got endurance like crazy.
Yeah,
They can just keep going.
So 8. And Mike, what do you?
Yeah.
How many miles?
It's a
Mike?
long ways, though.
4 or 8?
I'm still going to say 4.
4. Marie?
4.
It is. You ready? It is 8 miles.
Ah,
So, okay, who got that right?
I
Jeff.
did.
Jeff. That's it?
Yep.
Just Jeff? Come on, yeah, you guys got to stump Jeff. Don't let him catch up.
Oh,
All right.
we don't have many wolves in Florida, so
Yeah, we don't have a-
well, All right. What
A lot of 'em
wolf
up here.
species is the rarest? What wolf species is the rarest? Is it the American red wolf or the Arctic white wolf?
God, I would think the Arctic white wolf, but I'm probably wrong.
I think the red
Probably
is the
wrong.
rarest.
I'm going to say the red wolf.
And you guys do have red wolves down in Florida, don't you now? I think you do.
I'm
We
not
used
sure.
to
if
have a
it's
black
red
wolf
wolf.
back in the day.
Yeah, we had black.
Yeah, but you have red wolves are native, and I think they've been reintroduced.
Right.
So you guys are going to be battling wolves down there coming soon.
Right.
It is the okay. Well, before I said the answer, Jeff, what did you say?
Red.
Red,
I said Arctic.
Arctic.
And I
Mike,
said red.
I couldn't hear you, Mike.
Red.
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 Okay. The answer is, I'm looking in chat, and lovely baby turtles said American red. Greg says red. Kim says red. Dan Andrello says red. Red. Yeah, red. Edge Savage says red. Everybody's red. Jeez, it's red. So who got it wrong?
I did.
Oh,
I got it wrong.
Marie, shame
know.
on you.
Shame on me. I'm not up on wolf trivia.
Yeah, you notice there's no Florida critter
I know.
questions like what's the mature how old or how at what measurement is a
I should have. And I didn't.
Mature
Okay,
for-
let's see. When did the dire wolves go extinct? Was it the beginning of the Ice Age or the end of the last Ice Age? So
End.
was that the beginning or the end?
I would
End.
think the end.
The end. Jeff?
End. They
Mike?
died off about 12,000 years
End.
ago, I think.
and
End.
Well,
Okay, you guys all got it right.
Yeah.
Good. I tried to trick you on that one. Didn't work.
You tricked us on the other ones.
Okay, here's one. The latest species of wolf to be discovered. There was a new wolf discovered, believe it or not, in 2015. A new
I do
species.
remember hearing something about that.
Isn't that cool? I mean, that's a big mammal.
Yeah.
So in 2015, a new wolf was discovered, and it was discovered in Africa. What was the name of the species? Is it the African golden wolf or the African striped wolf? Which
I'm
one?
gonna say striped.
I would say striped.
Striped. Jeff?
I have no idea. I don't remember reading that.
Is
I'll
it
say
the
golden.
golden? Okay, Jeff,
Yeah.
you're the only one that got it right. That was a trick. I did that. I knew that, and you guys would fall for the stripe.
Are any canines striped? I don't think
You
I can't
guys
think of
fell
any
for that
canines that are
stripe
striped.
crap. Okay.
No, but I've seen.
It's a good trick because everybody
Yeah.
thinks of African animals as being striped.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any
I think
canines
of
that are
the-
striped.
Tasmanian, was it the Tasmanian?
Tasmanian, yeah.
Yeah, that's striped.
Tiger was
Yeah,
striped. Yeah,
That was striped. So
And that was a canine of some sort, or marsupial. Okay.
Marsupial.
How many miles per hour can the average wolf run? And is it 38 miles an hour or 31 miles an hour? Top speed, 31 or 38?
38.
38.
38.
I think 31.
By the way, Lay, you fell for my striped trick in the African things. I'm glad I tricked a few people on that. 38. Everybody's going 38. And you guys all said 38?
Yeah.
I said 31, but I'm probably wrong.
Oh, you said 31. Yeah.
I did.
Mike,
38.
you said 38. Okay, Jeff, you got creamed by those two. They
Yeah.
both got a point. You did not.
Yeah.
Okay, what is unusual about a wolf's paw compared to a domestic dog?
What's unusual?
Yep, what's different? I'm going to give you choices. Is it that they have web feet, or the size is twice as big as a domestic dog?
The size is twice.
Size. Okay, Mike, you.
I'll say size also because of running on snow.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're mad. I mean, their feet
They
are
are
massive.
massive.
Jeff, your size.
Yeah,
You're all
size.
three size.
Yeah.
Boy, did I trick all yous.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
They have webbed feet.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, their feet are webbed.
But they have very large webbed feet.
Well, they're large, but the main unique difference
A
is
little
wolves.
size.
That's how they're paddling
Wolves have
around
a
for
web.
8
Now,
hours.
Kim got it right. Kim Christensen got it right.
I didn't
But
know
they
that.
have
Never
web
heard of
feet.
that before.
You know, they just did a study on wolves, and they're finding out they're more aquatic and do a lot of fishing
That's
and eat a
insane.
lot of fish. Surprised all the scientists. I was not surprised. I was like, yeah, that's what I figured. Yet they were eating a lot of fish, and hence the web feet. They can swim really quick. Okay, what type of predator is a wolf? Is it an apex predator or an alpha predator? Apex or alpha predator?
I'll still say apex.
I would say alpha.
Alpha for Marie. Mike?
I say apex. Predator.
Apex? Jeff?
I'm gonna go with alpha.
Okay, it's Mike. You got it right. They got it wrong.
Yeah.
That was a fool. That one could fool you because of the having an alpha in the.
I just made that crap. I made
Yeah,
that alpha.
I wasn't sure if they're apex in every area, but I guess
Well, you know,
so.
you always hear about the alpha wolves, and I just,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny how our brain connects false
Yeah.
information.
I guess
Okay.
I'm not thinking of them being apex all the time. Yeah.
Hilton got apex right. Let's see. Tony got picked alpha. Lovely baby turtles picked apex. Kim alpha. Lovely baby turtles picked ape. So it was kind of split, alpha and apex. Interesting. Okay. We only have two more left. What is the average weight of a wolf? Oh, hold it. Just a second here. Did I screw something up? I think I tricked myself. Oh, no. I'm going to tell you, and then you guys got to pick which dog resembles a wolf more. Okay. The average weight is 80 pounds. The average shoulder height is 25 inches. So what domestic dog breed bears the closest resemblance to a wolf? Is it the Alaskan Malamute or the Husky?
Husky.
Husky. Jeff's Husky.
I think
Mike,
husky.
are you going with Husky or are you going to be different?
So I was trying to think. I'm trying to think of what Malamute looks like.
Yeah.
I couldn't picture it in my brain, so I'll just go husky.
Husky, you're all wrong.
I felt like it was a Malamute because it's
I
like
thought Malamute had a
Now,
shorter face.
so come on.
Dang it.
How many? Okay, here's a good one. How many teeth does a
Okay.
wolf have? Is it 52 or 42?
One too many.
52 or 42?
42.
I'd say
42 for Mike.
42.
42?
I go
Jeff?
52. They got a big mouth.
52. Okay, so Mike and Marie just got a point.
Yay.
And so we've got Mike for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm just going to count Mike. And then Marie's got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Also, you got 8 right too, Marie.
Yeah, I'm
And
in no danger.
Jeff,
of
you
winning.
got 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my God, you guys are all tied.
Wow.
Three-way tie.
You did not stump the big ragu.
Woohoo.
And I don't even have a bonus tie question. Let me look. Maybe I do. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, this is we gotta break the tie. What domestic dog breed is genetically the closest to wolves? Is it the husky dog or the Saluki? What domestic
with the
dog
Saluki.
breed is
Saluki. I go with
Saluki.
Saluki.
I'll go husky. I have no idea what a Saluki is.
Husky? Okay. It's a tiebreaker.
I say Saluki.
Okay, Jeff, you lost.
Yeah,
They both beat you,
I never heard of that.
but not
before.
much. Just a
High five, Marie. High five, Marie.
Ah, good job. Good job.
Good job. Good job. Okay, and you gotta send both Marie and Mike an Untold Radio hat.
Oh,
Sure.
thank you. Yay. Awesome.
All right. So we got that all done.
Making myself a note.
We are We are completely done. I will use our clips next week. I did pick out a lot of clips. I had a lot of good clips. Just things go quick. Time goes by. Thank you so much. And we're going to see you guys in May. You're going to have more encounter stories. We're going to have David Sheely with us.
Yes.
And you make sure you tell David I've been watching him on TV and reading his articles about him since I was almost a kid.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely tell. I think he was going to be watching this podcast for a while. I don't know.
Oh, well,
what's up, Dave?
Yeah. So you guys drag Dave on, and then we'll have a really cool show in May.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with us tonight in chat. Thank you, Jeff, for all the hard work you did.
Thank you guys.
And I had fun. I hope you guys had fun.
It's been a great conversation.
Oh yeah. Had a great time. Thank you.
And thank you to all your awesome guests. I mean, all your awesome fans.
Yeah, they are.
They're awesome.
Man, thank you. We're so lucky. You just got a great audience.
Yeah. And so everybody have a great, very great year. Way better than we had last year.
Yes.
And we love you all. And we will see you all next week. Same place, same time. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should stop falling, we'll head home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't no ordinary love we got going on. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I'll pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, that I'll find my way back home to you again. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be